Creep on in, on in, on in.
The family. All right. Hope everybody checked out my broadcast, my joint on YouTube. We had a great conversation tonight. We had a lot of folks calling in. We're going to bring some people on here to ask me anything. There's been a lot of articles written about me today, and I've been trending still. What's up, brother Raheem? Shout out to my brother Raheem. So since I'm still trending, I've been trending all fucking day. That's real weird. Um, let me get some folks in. Who wants to get on? Let's chop it up because we're having a very good conversation. There's a lot of chat rooms continuing the conversation about foundational Black Americans and people in the diaspora. We're bringing a lot of people in, just having a good conversation and chopping it up and just letting everybody know what's on our hearts. And we're just trying to come to an understanding here. All right, so let me see. Let me get some folks in here. If you want to talk, let me see your hand. Throw a hand up, please. Anybody who wants to talk. I see the request. So let me get Mustafa Adams. Only raise your hand, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your hands if you're ready to talk, and if your phone is not janky. And let me say this. Another thing. Some of y'all from the diaspora, when we say your phone is janky, y'all stop acting all butthurt. I've seen dudes in chat rooms all day whining about us clowning their phones. And like, what that nigga said, our phone was janky. So it's not a personal beef, nigga. If you have a janky phone, you just get roasted. Some of y'all gonna have to eat some of the roast. Y'all get roasted, and that shit fucks with you psychologically. Nigga called me a booty scratcher when I was 3 years old. Get over that shit, man. Niggas get roasted. That's part of the game. All right. Now, Mustafa, turn your microphone on, sir.
Hi.
What's up, Mustafa? Where you from, sir?
I'm from East Africa.
What part of East Africa?
Let's say Somalia, but Somali areas. Somalis are all over Ethiopia and Kenya and basically the same people.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you in Minnesota or Seattle right now?
Minneapolis.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, so yeah. Okay, so ask me anything. What's on your mind? What do you like to ask Tariq Nasheed?
Tariq Nasheed, I have been following you for a while now. I was not aware of any African group that's against reparation for Black Americans.
You weren't aware of reparations for Black Americans?
I wasn't aware that there are some Africans who are against that.
Oh, who are against reparations?
Yes.
Yeah, man. When we start talking about getting reparations for foundational Black Americans, a lot of people seem to have a problem with that. Why do you think so many people in the diaspora have a problem with foundational Black Americans getting reparations?
First of all, you have to understand black people all over the world look up to African Americans. Or we can't we don't have to argue about what we call each other, but that Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Foundational Black Americans. That's what we prefer. But go
Yeah.
ahead. Okay, so people look up to us. Okay.
And you guys are the most powerful, and black people in the world.
Yes.
I believe you know that there are more black people in Latin America, places like Brazil, but
Right.
they don't have any power.
Okay.
I thought about it. I thought, forget about people, saying, "Oh, somebody in the grade school called me this and that." Well, that's so asinine and childish. It's somebody who cannot explain why they behave a
I hear you.
certain way.
Okay, I hear your phone going off, brother. Do you have to do a Postmate order? I hear your phone going off in the back. Everything okay?
It's text coming through, something like that.
Okay, let me let you go ahead and deliver that DoorDash. I'm gonna get some more people in here.
No, no.
Okay, brother was taking forever to get to the point. Shout out to him. He was kind of taking forever, and he had an Uber Eats order. So let me go ahead and let him get that delivery. I'm about to get a bunch of angry emails. Fuck you, nigga. I do not drive for Uber Eats. Oh, now I'm about to get a whole bunch of motherfuckers from Somalia. I'm gonna be trending in Somalia now. The nigga from Captain Phillips will show up to my crib with a billy club, like I'm the captain now, motherfucker. Let's get some other people in here. Okay, let's get Oloye Babatunde. Shout out to Oloye Babatunde, a strong, powerful name. So it sounds like this brother's sitting in the crib with a kufi on right now. What's up, Oloye Babatunde? Babatunde, what's up, brother? All right, turn your speaker on, Oloye. Turn your microphone on, sir. Turn your microphone on, my brother. Like I said, guys, if you request to get on, can you please have your microphones ready? Have everything ready, please. That's all we ask. While I'm waiting on Mr. Babatunde, let me get Zam. Okay, this brother right here. Let me get this cat. Zam Zam. Right, let's get Zam Zam on here. The Zam Zam, you look familiar. Were you kind of trolling in my mentions earlier, Zam Zam?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Okay. What's up? You were trolling earlier, right?
Yep, since yesterday.
Now say what's on your mind. Say what's on your mind to me and say it with your chest now.
When you first started your program the day before yesterday, people were like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he was saying. I'm in Nigeria and I'm from Lagos. I've never been to America. So when you start saying Blacks American, I had to just rethink. Okay, they are Filipino Filipino.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me get a one in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. In the beginning of these streams, I like to play a replay of either my interactions with some people a part of the African diaspora or Tariq Nasheed's, and so we get some people calling live. We do have a live caller coming from the back to the front. Is Millie Hendricks? How you doing, Millie? Oh, Millie, your microphone is on mute. Oh, and Millie dropped off. We'll see if Millie wants to try to call in again. As I said in the chat, I did this stream on a day that I normally don't stream. I did this stream especially at a time where I normally don't stream. But guys, I recognize that there's different time zones that certain members of the diaspora are dealing with. So I thought I'd do it early in the day in hopes that we have some people call in and let us know how they feel about the topic at hand. We do have Millie calling back in. Let's see if we can hear him this time. Millie?
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, can you hear me?
All right, perfect. We can hear you. Before we get into it, I always like to ask new callers, where are you calling in from?
Oh, I'm calling from the UK, but I'm Nigerian background.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let us know what you think about the topic at hand.
Oh, I just want to explain something because like along with the rest of the diaspora, especially here in the UK, we absolutely idolize you Black Americans. We look up to you. You probably already know that. Like anything we do, we just think, okay, well, what would you lot do about it? I think the reason why some Africans might be triggered when you guys say, even though I support your cause, by the way, I back you 100%. I hope you get your payday. I hope that I don't even have to hope for it. I know it's going to happen, but let me state some point. It's just when you say that we're not African American, it's just that a lot of Africans who look up to you, like just like myself, we look up to you so greatly. It's like almost as if we understand that. I understand that you're delineating, but someone might take that as you don't want to identify with us, and it's almost as if like you're almost embarrassed of us. I've personally, I believe you when you say that there are Africans who might have a dissenting view, because I have to admit I've got relatives
Well,
over
hold
in the States,
on
and
real quick, if we may.
okay,
Hold on, hold on. If we
sorry,
can slow down for just a moment. Oh no,
I'm
it's
banging
fine.
on a bit.
You're totally fine. No. If you bring up a good point, I like to address it so that I don't forget it later. But you said something very interesting. You said basically that when we delineate, certain members of the diaspora feel that we want nothing to do with them, right?
Yes, that's how they might take it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so my question to you would be, and this isn't so much as a question to you directly, it's more so just a challenge to that notion in general. Why don't they feel that way about Haitians? Why don't they feel that way about Jamaicans? Jamaicans and Haitians have African ancestry, but they go out of their way to delineate and say, "Hey, I'm Jamaican. I'm not African. Hey, I'm Haitian. I'm not African." Matter of fact, Tariq Nasheed was just on the island of Fiji not too long ago, and I was listening into his streams while he was visiting Fiji, and he was saying that even and I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, I think Fiji people are Fijian. I think that's what they refer to themselves as. But
I'd
even
imagine so, yeah.
yeah, so even the Fijians, if that is the right word, were acknowledging that they did have African ancestry, but they have delineated and understand through something called an ethnogenocide that they are something unique and they are now something different. So, it's very interesting that specifically when Black Americans for the first time want to delineate, it's now this up in arms confrontation. You guys are being divisive, whereas other members of the diaspora have delineated a long time ago, and no one seems to have an issue with that. But what do you think?
Okay. I think so. I grew up in the UK, and there's quite a number of there used to be quite a number of Caribbeans, and the way Black Americans inspired me, Caribbeans inspired me in the UK as well. And I've never met a Caribbean who didn't say that we're Caribbean. In fact, their official name is Afro-Caribbean, so they can reiterate that they come from Africa.
Have
But
you
if
ever
they
came
wanted
across a
to,
Jamaican specifically?
yeah, Jamaica. Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And
They've
do
always.
Jamaicans say that they're Jamaican, or do they say they're Afro-Jamaican?
Well, they say okay. They say that they're Jamaican, but you can sense like I've gone to
Hold
cultural
on, hold
events.
on, hold on, hold on,
There's
hold on.
okay. All right, my bad.
No, it's fine. There is no but. If they say that they are Jamaican, then they are participating in delineating, right?
Um, I think I wouldn't say that they're just saying that where they're based, but I think that they
No,
like
that
I've
is
had
a form.
Jamaicans.
Hey, that is a form of delineating. If you know you have African ancestry, and instead of identifying as that, you identify as the group from where you're from and the unique experiences that you guys have undergone. I mean, that's delineation in its finest. I've never met a Jamaican that goes out of their way to say, "Oh, I'm Afro-Jamaican." No, they just say Jamaican. If anything, a lot of Jamaicans have beef with Africans and go out of their way to make sure that they're not lumped into the category that is African.
Ain't that the truth? I know up because it happens. It's happened in the UK as well. I think with Oh, I forget what I was saying. Sorry, I'm just a bit excited to be talking to you at the moment. But sorry, I think with Africa, I think oh, what was I saying? Okay, so I think with Jamaica, I think when they delineate, because that's like me saying I'm from the UK, but I'm not trying to delineate from my heritage. It's just that I'm trying to say that my experience in the UK is different, and that's the reason when I hear Black Americans say I'm American, it's like you have a different experience and you have a different point of view than someone from Africa. Like I consider all Black people as metals. And if you know about metallurgy, is that each metal has a different treatment, but it still gets to the point of being a metal. So aluminium and iron are probably different, but they have how they're created is like they have different kinds of treatments. So I kind of see the experience of Black people around the world as like different kinds of treatments. Obviously, no one's ever going to debate the fact that yours is definitely considerably the worst kind of treatment. And I think through that you emerged victorious, you become the better for it, and that's the reason why you are the inspiration of the African diaspora. And that's why I even just talking
there's
to one
something
of you,
else I
I
want to
get
touch on
excited.
as well. Yeah, it's something that I want to touch on as well, and also no need to be nervous. I mean, we're just having a civil conversation here. But earlier you did say, and I'm going to paraphrase, but you basically said that members of the diaspora look at what we do and they kind of jock the swag and want to talk like us and dress like us, and we're kind of like trendsetters to a degree, right?
Yes,
So do
especially
you
fighting
think that
oppression.
yeah, so do you think that maybe the real root issue with us delineating may have something to do with insecurity? For example, if you guys already view us as the one setting the trend, the global example of what it is to be Black or whatever, do you think maybe they feel a bit insecure and a bit scorned that now we are delineating and now it's not going to be so easy for them to, slide into our group per se? It's going to be much harder for them to pass as one of us. I mean, long gone are the days where you can just have a Black American accent and people will think that you're a foundational Black American. I mean, now that we're delineating, we're checking paperwork. We're asking what country you're from, what country your parents are from. So do you think that maybe insecurity has some role?
Oh, see, because asking someone what country their parents are from over here in the UK, that's like usually trying to use as a weapon to, unless it's whoever's asking it. Let's say, okay, I'm Nigerian. If a Ghanaian asks me where my parents are from, I know that it's coming out of good faith. It's just, in this country, when the indigents ask or try to find out where we're from, we just say we're quite defensive because they just want to use that as an attack weapon against us. So like when I understand when a Black American asks me, okay, where am I from? What's my background? I'm although I'm highly appreciative and I celebrate you as a people and a culture, like I'm gonna say, okay, yeah, I'm obviously you can tell from my accent that I'm not American, but at the same time, I'm just gonna say where I'm from. So I think it's not really the fact that of delineating; it's just the fact that they take it as you distancing yourself from the African stuff. Like I said,
But the
I've heard
word
Talisha say
delineate
that.
has nothing to do with distancing. The word delineate is just about making specific. It doesn't mention distancing. It doesn't mention shying away from. Delineating is just being more specific. That's all. And it's very
Yeah,
interesting
I
that you just
understand
made.
that.
Yeah, no, and it's very interesting that you just made that statement because I did some content earlier in the week, and we discovered that a lot of Africans are, in fact, very, very insecure to even let people know where they're from. I'd go out on a limb and say they're ashamed to let people know where they're from. Real quick, let's watch a YouTube short that I just produced the other day.
Understand, where are you from? Like, who cares where I'm from? Just sell me this thing and let me keep going.
And then when you tell them that you're African, they be like, what country?
Yeah, they're so obsessed with where you're from.
Oh my God, and we were just talking about how we need to check these motherfuckers' papers and we need to know where you're from. And now these Africans are complaining about it. Oh, they want to know so much about you. They want to know where we're from. We're just African. No, you motherfuckers are ashamed of where you're from.
They want to know everything.
The thing that pissed me off the most is that when they see you and they be like, oh, you have an accent. Where are you from? Like, who cares where I'm from? Just
Everybody cares where you're from. What do you mean? That's a very common question. If we come across someone with a strange accent, we want to know, ma'am, where are you from?
tell me.
Do you find it odd that she's upset that people simply want to know where she's from?
Yeah, I don't want to bore you to death, but there's like a certain category in Africa, Nigeria, where people like she would come under the category as Japa, someone who left Nigeria and went to America. So usually people who quote unquote Japa are people who don't want to identify with where they're from. They don't want to identify with Nigeria. So I just say that she's probably a minority in that sense. That I mean, I don't know, maybe America, but in the UK, like if someone comes from, that at Nigeria we beef about based on tribalism, but when as soon as we come to a place like the UK, all that goes out the window because because, and even I even spoke to an elder. When I was a kid, I interviewed an elder from Barbados, and he said that when during the Windrush, when they came to the UK in the 50s, like they used to be divided on like what island they were from. Like I'm Bajan, he's St. Lucian, he's Jamaican. But as soon as it started happening in the UK, when they started, things very similar to what was going on in America, then all that islandism went out the window. It's like we're all Caribbean, we're all black people. Let's join together on that. And I think in her case, hers not want to identify with Africa. I would probably say I'll make a bold statement, say it's an anomaly. I might be wrong. I've been wrong many times before, but that's what I'm thinking it might be.
And I understand in your experience, you feeling like it's an anomaly because you may not have dealt with that or encountered it. I can tell you, just even running the humble channel that I do and interacting with all the thousands of people I do weekly, it's actually a much more common thing than most people would think. I have quote unquote tethers call in all the time, and the reason and the number one way we can know someone is a tether is because when we simply ask them, what country do you live in, what country are you from, it takes them 30, 40, sometimes it takes them an hour and a half to answer that question. They want to dance around it, they want to deflect. Oh, I'm from the West, I'm from the world, I'm from a hospital with my mother and my friend. They will go out of their way to not reveal what country of origin their people are from and where they currently live, because I think they understand that it's a precarious dynamic when they're over here trying to get an FBA business, and maybe their family's from Congo but they live in Britain. It's like, why are you
Yeah.
worried about what we're doing over here? Why do you even feel like your opinion matters? But something I want to address real quick. We got somebody in the chat called Chuck Woo Igwe, and the StreamYard link is still posted. So Chuck Woo, please click the link. I'd love to hear from you.
He's my brother. He's Chukwu.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well,
Chukwu. He's a Chukwu Igwe. I don't want to sound pedantic, but he's from my ethnic group, so I know that's the way. That's what I don't want to sound like.
wait, hold on. I want to show him the respect of at least attempting to get his name right. Can you teach me the pronunciation real quick?
Oh, it's Chukwu Igwe. So
Chukwu Igwe?
Yeah, Chukwu Igwe. Yeah.
Chukwu Igwe. Okay, I probably still sound like an ignorant Yankee, but he says,
trust me, I'm worse. I'm worse than you, mate. Trust me, I'm worse. That's my heritage. So.
All right, so he says, I'm half tether, half Japa Akata. Well, what do you think he means by Japa Akata?
So I think he's half tether, as in he left Nigeria. He left. He would have been born in Nigeria, and he left Nigeria. Me, because I was born in the UK, so I guess my parents would have been classified as Japa. But
okay.
Yeah.
We'll learn something new every day. I didn't even know about this Japa thing until you called in. He goes on to say, there are millions of us that are full citizens. We are all equally American now. You are right, but there is a distinction I want to make, and I'm just going to call him C for short. While you may be naturalized as an American citizen, you are not a foundational Black American. And this is why we are delineating, because there's a lot of people who can come over here and now they're quote unquote African American. I mean, goddamn, Charlize Theron and Elon Musk are technically African Americans. So, it's very, very important for us to start being a bit more specific with our lineage. And actually, there's something else that I'd like to play just real quick. And actually, on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a full live stream on African immigration in the U.S. because now it's getting crazy where they're actually traveling to South America and coming through the Mexican border. But this is just a little clip from that live stream I'm going to do on Tuesday. Here's just a little clip, and I think that this really speaks to the problem at hand. Let me see if I can pull this up. And what this clip is from is this is from a French news broadcast, and what they were doing was they were documenting the experiences of Africans living in America who have a French background. And when I say French background, they either lived in France or they come from a country that was colonized by France. So due to colonization, they speak French and they have basically assimilated into French culture. But let's go ahead and play a quick clip of this.
We meet Aurora Zondekon again in Silver Spring, Maryland. She's treating herself to a few hours of pampering to get her hair braided at a friend's salon.
How are you? How's the family doing this morning?
Okay. What about you?
I'm fine.
The two women met 7 years ago when Zondekon moved to the U.S. Back then, they both worked in the same hair salon. Their friendship was built on a common language and shared West African roots.
Yes, Africa is a continent, but it's also like a country, especially French-speaking Africa. We have the same.
So here we already start getting into the tether babble. She said Africa is a continent, but it's somehow kind of sort of like a country, especially the French parts. So, I mean, first of all, we're dealing with severely colonized people. They have adopted a French ideology. They have totally assimilated into French culture. They speak French fluently. And now they're over here in the United States trying to say that Africa is kind of like a country. Let's see if there's some other very strange things these women say.
Country, especially French-speaking Africa. We have the same culture, we understand each other, we eat basically the same meals, we think the same, we have the same experiences, which is not the case with African Americans, for example.
Relationships between African Americans and African immigrants aren't always easy. In her 7 years in the US, Azondekon has yet to build a friendship with an African American.
She's been in the United States for several years, and she says she has yet been able to build a friendship with an African American. Guys, African Americans created the whole phenomenon we know as Pan-Africanism. So if there was ever a people across the diaspora who would be extremely easy to make friends with, it would be us. We welcome other ethnic groups with open arms. We are not xenophobic. We are not tribal in any way. So let's see why she thinks she's been unable to make a single African American friend, even though she's been here for several years.
Sometimes they think their ancestors were sold by ours.
Look at this. Look at this broad with her coy little smile looking up to the side. Ladies and gentlemen, you will not find a single foundational Black American who has disdain for Africans because they believe that their ancestors sold us. What kind of ignorant shit is she trying to peddle right now? What kind of ignorant shit is she talking about? First of all, Africa is a continent made up of many different countries. No foundational Black American colloquially believes that Africans had a hand in selling us. That was a very specific tribal group in a very specific territory. I mean, look at how she says this with such a coy, sly smile. Oh, you know, we just have this French culture, and it's been several years. I haven't been able to find a friend. I think it's because they really think that we sold them or something. What are you talking about? Let's go ahead and get on into it, y'all.
Relationships between African Americans and African immigrants aren't always easy. In her 7 years in the US, Azondekon has yet to build a friendship with an African American.
Indeed, we do know that our ancestors were sold by them, but my point is none of us have that disdain. None of us have that vitriol. If we come across an African, we're thinking, hey, you're a Black person, be one. We're trying to learn what country they're from. We're trying to learn about their culture. I've not met a single foundational Black American who holds some kind of vitriol or disdain because they think that their ancestors were sold by Africans. I mean, this is totally something that she's making up to make excuses for why she has not a single foundational Black American friend.
Sometimes they think their ancestors were sold by ours. So there is some jealousy. There's also jealousy.
Jealousy, she says. She didn't say, oh, foundational Black Americans, they recognize that some of us sold them in this. No, she really thinks we're jealous of them, y'all. She's sitting over here, fled from Africa to France, fled from France to America, went from being, she said she was a business executive. Now she's a fucking Uber driver, barely making ends meet in Maryland. And she's really sitting over here all pomp, talking about we're jealous of her. Jealous of what? Jealous of what? Even if some of us had contempt or vitriol because we think our ancestors were sold by them, why would we be jealous of that? That's a strange word to throw into the mix. Jealous? Jealous. Jealousy. Guys, we're learning how they think. We're learning in real time.
Sometimes they think their ancestors were sold by ours. So there is some jealousy. There's also jealousy because when we come here, we know where we came.
Do y'all listen to this mush-mouth tether babble? She thinks we're jealous because when they flee from genocide, when they flee from famine, when they flee the impoverished nation they're from that's still being colonized to this day, when they flee over here, they think we're jealous because they know where they came from. What are you talking about? Oh my God, y'all, we're getting into the realm of tether babble. And if you're late to my content, whenever we hear some tether babble, we got to play this clip. Come on, she thinks we're jealous. Look at how she's sitting all pumped and dandy. Oh, yes, they so jealous of us. Oh my God. Jealous. Jealous. Meanwhile, globally, they try to bite our swag, they copy our dances, they copy our song. Somehow we're jealous. Yes, a French-speaking African telling us how we don't know our culture and we're jealous. Yes.
We fight with an African American.
Oh, and guys, it's going to get worse and it's never going to get better. Watch this.
Sometimes they think their ancestors were sold by ours. So there is some jealousy. There's also jealousy because when we come here, we know where we came. We fight.
We fight? Did this broad just lie and say we fight? They're jealous because we know where we came and we fight. You didn't fight, you fled. If you were such a fighter, you would still live in your country of origin.
Isn't always the case for them.
I worked with them for a long time. You just have to know your place and take what you can.
Azondekon's judgment is harsher, fueled by her past encounters.
They might come up to you, and then the next day, they're a different person.
Do y'all believe this mushmouth tether broad? We might come up to her, and then the next day, we're a different person. What are you talking about?
For them, friendship is superficial.
For us, friendship is superficial, y'all. She ain't been able to find a single FBA friend in several years of being in our country because to us, friendship is superficial. Make it make sense.
Whereas for me as an African, friendship is sacred.
Oh, Lord, y'all. I just wanted to play a little preview of Tuesday's live stream, y'all. That's just a little preview. Millie, what do you think about what you just saw?
I really don't want to take the cowardly way out and say that that's French-speaking African and I'm an Anglophone African, but I think because I was thinking if I was in their position, I would go out of my way to look for yous to make friends with yous. Because I mean, going back to sometimes when I have relations in America. When we argue about you lot. And one of the things they speak, they're not the biggest fans of yous. And I'm thinking, obviously, I'm in the UK. I'm thinking, like, no, don't say that. You don't know what they've had to go through, the things they've had to struggle for. And the fact that you're even in America is what they had to suffer for. And the only reason, and the fact that you in America, you live a better life than we live in Europe. And, you know, going back and forth with all that stuff. And one of them actually said to me, he actually said, well, you know what, next time you come to America, I'll bring you around these Black Americans that you love so much. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I said, yeah, I would love to. I'd love to be around you. So I'm just almost envious of her position that she was being able to be around you and stuff like that. Like me being in the UK, I kind of feel the same way about Caribbeans. Like I'm always I get quite almost like stalkerish mindset when I'm around Caribbean people because I think they're just like the greatest people alive. And obviously with you lot, I've only watched you on the telly, so I look up to you lot as well. So it's just like, you know, it's just, to me, it's like the best representation of blackness, you know, especially Black Americans represent Black excellence. And I know I'm just going off on a tangent here, so I'll just get back to the point. Yeah, I was just kind of like, I was just had my head in my hands for everything she was saying, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I feel you. And actually, I want to highlight a comment real quick. Somebody made a comment and they said, I want to say it was Sir Nick. No, it wasn't Sir Nick. It was D. D says this looks like a government propaganda film. Yes, this was produced by France. And look at the beginning of this. Look at how the beginning of this starts off. You can already see what kind of time they on. Watch this.
Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters here on France 24. I'm Marco.
We got some French people trying to speak on relations in the diaspora between foundational Black Americans and African immigrants. Let's see what kind of colonization tactics they use to try to create a divide between us.
And in this edition, we're focusing on the African communities in the United States. It's a growing number of people. Many are from French-speaking countries like Cameroon, Senegal, and Tunisia, and in spite of problems that they're facing, still are most convinced that the US is the place where dreams can be realized. Fanny Allard is our reporter. Joining us now. Fanny, racism.
Oh, this ignorant French bitch. Oh, I want to reach through the. Oh, Lord. If only I was in France and her face could run into my hand once or twice. Oh, my God. Listen to what this French woman is going to try to say. Yes, this was a propaganda film, but the sad part is the Africans fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
Clearly a factor in this report.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can talk about racism, but what's definitely sure is that the relationship between Africans and African American is very complex and often.
How do you know anything about the complexities of the relationship, ma'am? You live in France. You are French. You were not invited to the cookout.
Full of stereotypes. I'd say, in a way, African Americans envy Africans for knowing who they are and where they come from.
Did you just say that? Oh my God, she's trying to say that us foundationals envy the African immigrants because they know where they come from. Oh Lord.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we can talk about racism, but what's definitely sure is that the relationship between Africans and African American is very complex and often full of stereotypes. I'd say, in a way, African Americans envy Africans for knowing who they are and where they come from.
Guys, I might as well start a stream talking about how the French envy the Germans. I mean, are we really just going to talk out of our ass about shit that we don't experience, don't come from, have no knowledge on? Guys, I am so surprised that we have a white French woman speaking about how us foundationals feel. Do you see why we got to delineate? Do you see why we got to rep our own team? Because we even got the French over there trying to speak for us.
Because whether they're from Cameroon, as you said, or Ivory Coast or Nigeria, these African immigrants all belong to a country with roots and their own culture. When African Americans are Americans, the African heritage they have comes from their ancestors who were slaves, and that's what's still hard to process today. Their ancestors were forced to come to the US. They've been discriminated in different ways for 400 years, and yet they bear the nationality of a country that sometimes still struggle to acknowledge its history. So I'd say there is a complex of identity, but the mistake, in my opinion, would be to believe that Africans and African Americans have more in common just because they share the same skin color.
Lord, oh Lord. Oh my God. Yes, we got a propaganda film created by the French to create more divide, and the Africans fell for it hook, line, and sinker. But Millie, what do you think about this? Oh, and real quick, we had somebody backstage called Michael. Michael, I was just getting ready to bring you up. So if you still want to come in and let us know how you think about this topic, the StreamYard link is posted. But go ahead, Millie.
Oh, I just like, you know, France. She really. I really don't know what to say because she's not really in a qualified position to speak about it. But I think she's just creating fake cap. Like I think it's not. Obviously, me being a Westerner, I kind of know that there's nothing that for Black Americans to feel jealous of anybody about, not just in the diaspora of anyone. I mean, not just like in pop culture, but just even the inventors like Louis Latimer. Like I read a bit about all of them, and when you kind of piece them all together, I listen to classical music like William Grant Still. He was a classical music composer, and it's just like when you piece it all together, Black Americans are definitely a distinct group, and like I don't see what you basically you've got Sweet Naffle to be jealous of anybody about, in my honest opinion.
Everybody's biting our swag. Even the white French people over there trying to talk like us and dress like us and listen to our music. So, God damn it, everybody's coming for our culture while claiming at the same time we have no culture at all. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. But ladies and gentlemen, if there's anybody else that wants to call in and give us their opinion, now is the time to call in. This is a live call-in show. Don't hesitate to hit the link, no matter if you're white, Black, foundational, African, or a French person. Apparently, French people think that they have a seat at the table. So here we go. But I've got to ask you, Millie, so were you born and raised in the UK?
Yeah, that's how I went to Nigeria was like 15 years ago, unfortunately. So
Cool. Oh, and actually, I did want you to help your friend out here. Your friend made a sideways comment, Mr. C. He said some FBAs even think they are elite Europeans, though. Can you really urge your friend to click the link and call in? Because when he makes disparaging, inappropriate comments like that, what I'm forced to do is ban him from commenting in the chat in hopes that that will force him to click the link and call in, because we would love to actually hear from him and get to know his perspective. So is there any way that you can try to motivate your friend to call in and join the discussion? I mean, he already has a friend of his up here. I don't see why he'd be hesitant to call in, right?
Well, is this the Chukwu Igwe chap? Or is it
Yeah,
a
yeah.
different person? Oh, I
No,
say,
no, it's Chukwuigwe, yeah.
I'll say it in our language. Biko wanem bia bia bia. So yeah, I'm just saying, please come on the line. Like I was just saying in our language, because I just want to try to say it in English and in our language, so that way he's got nowhere to hide. So.
Yep. Oh, and then Restless Phase on it. She said, I already blocked him. He needs to call in. Exactly, sir. We respect your opinion. We really want to hear from you, but we're not going to allow the sideways comments, and you're not going to click the link. So now you can't comment anymore, but we hope you click the link and let us know exactly how you feel about the FBAs that think they are elite Europeans. I mean, I don't think there's a single Black person who even thinks they're European, let alone elite European. So that's very odd. And what country did you say that Chuck was from?
He's from Nigeria as well. We're from a place called, I don't know if you know, but I won't bore you too much about it, but it's a place called, we try to make our own country called Biafra, but we're Igbo basically. Because in Nigeria, we don't really identify by nationality or identify by our ethnic group, and also we're Igbos. So I can recognize from his name, Chukwu just means gods, and Igwe means king. So I could recognize that he's one of my he's one of my lots. So that's how I was able to, when you pronounced it, when the way you pronounced it, I said, okay, yeah, this guy's definitely.
Jones says it's always a Nigerian. It's always a Nigerian that has to come crash the party.
Yeah, long and short of it, yeah, he's Nigerian. So.
Oh man, them Nigerians are living up to the stereotypes, y'all. This isn't a good look. This isn't a good look.
Cool.
As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to shock you guys. I'm getting ready to plug in my external hard drive where I keep all my receipts on all these fake gurus, these frauds, these scammers, these tethers across the diaspora. Oh boy, I've got some things on my external hard drive. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I want to pull up real quick, and Mila, since you're a member of the diaspora, I'd love to get your opinion on this. But if I go into my folder, and guys, forgive me, but this folder is titled "Fuck Africans," and the reason why it's titled that, the reason why it's titled that, is because it's just filled with some crazy ass xenophobic, genocidal things that they are saying about us. So let me go ahead and pull up this clip real quick, and let's listen to. Again, the title of this stream is Black Americans versus Africans. Africans make it impossible to unite. Let me bring a little evidence to the court of public opinion. Let's see if I can produce some videographic evidence that speaks to the points that Africans make it impossible to unite. Let's hear what Africans say about us on their Twitter spaces. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, guys. We know about our Twitter spaces. We know what we have to say, but let's see what the Africans say when there's nothing but Africans around, no FBAs in sight, nobody to check them. Let's see how they feel when it's just them talking amongst them.
You gotta understand, right? 3 out of 4 Black people. There's a new study that came on University of Utah, and also and University of Stanford, the Hoover Institute. 3 out of 4 Black people have mercury in their blood. 2 out of 6 Black people have uranium. You can actually.
He just said that we have mercury and uranium in our blood. Let's hear how these tether babies are plotting on the mercury and the uranium that is in our blood.
Use Black people to create nuclear energy.
He just said we can use Black people to get nuclear energy. These motherfuckers' countries don't even have roads or 5G Wi-Fi, but they are plotting on extracting things from our DNA to create nuclear energy. This is part of the reason why Africans make it impossible to unite.
It is. You gotta understand, right? 3 out of 4 black people. There's a new study that came on University of Utah, and also an University of Stanford, the Hoover Institute. 3 out of 4 black people have mercury in their blood. 2 out of 6 black people have uranium. You can actually use black people to create nuclear energy. So when people say that black people are bad, yes, they're bad, but there's a positive. You know what I mean? Also, it's not. I'm not talking about killing them. You can extract the uranium and the mercury from their.
Oh, he's not talking about killing us. He's just talking about extracting the uranium. And y'all, they say we're bad. Yeah, we're so bad, but there's uranium that they can extract. How are they going to extract the uranium from our blood? They don't want to kill us, but let's hear how they're going to extract the uranium from our blood.
It is. You gotta understand, right? 3 out of 4 black people. There's a new study that came on University of Utah, and also an University of Stanford, the Hoover Institute. 3 out of 4 black people have mercury in their blood. 2 out of 6 black people have uranium. You can actually use black people to create nuclear energy. So when people say that black people are bad, yes, they're bad, but there's a positive. You know what I mean? Also, it's not. I'm not talking about killing them. You can extract the uranium and the mercury from their blood without killing them. Also from this lymphatic nervous system, and also the parasympathetic nervous system.
Wait, so they're talking about extracting uranium from our nervous system. Sir, you guys can't even militarize your country. You are preying on the Chinaman to come and build up your nation. How are you going to somehow extract something from our nervous system? Oh, make it make sense. And Millie, thank you so much, Millie, for speaking in the native tongue to Chuck Wu, because Chuck Wu has clicked the link. He's backstage. He wants to call in. And I thank him so much for doing that. I'm just going to play the rest of this video real quick. It's only about 60 seconds.
Without killing them. Also from this lymphatic nervous system, and also the parasympathetic nervous system. Right. So these people have power to actually produce nuclear energy.
Professor Henry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother, but if that's the case, is it economically viable to extract these minerals from their blood, from their bodies?
I believe you should sell black people to Iran. Iran currently is doing it.
He just said that we should sell black people to Iran. It is the year 2024, and we got African tether babies plotting on selling us to Iran. You cannot show me a single foundational Black American Twitter space where we are talking about selling Africans to another foreigner or extracting anything from their blood or nervous system. Y'all want to get so bent out of shape because we call some of you tethers. You want to get so bent out of shape because in kindergarten someone called you an African booty scratcher, but y'all are in your Twitter spaces when you think it's only you, and when you think none of us are listening, you're talking about enslaving us and selling us to Iran to have minerals extracted from our nervous system. Oh Lord, Africans definitely make it impossible to unite. I'm going to play it one more time all the way through without any interruptions. Let's hear what these mushmouth tethers are talking about. Instead of building up their own nation, they plotting on us, family. They plotting on us.
It is. You gotta understand, right? 3 out of 4 black people. There's a new study that came on University of Utah, and also an University of Stanford, the Hoover Institute. 3 out of 4 black people have mercury in their blood. 2 out of 6 black people have uranium. You can actually use black people to create nuclear energy. So when people say that black people are bad, yes, they're bad, but there's a positive. You know what I mean? Also, it's not. I'm not talking about killing them. You can extract the uranium and the mercury from their blood without killing them. Also from this lymphatic nervous system, and also the parasympathetic nervous system. Right. So these people have power to actually produce nuclear energy.
Professor Henry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother, but if that's the case, is it economically viable to extract these minerals from their blood, from their bodies?
I believe you should sell black people to Iran. Iran currently is doing it.
Is this one of the reasons why they were enslaved?
Yes. No. The reason
possibly to harvest them?
Hard labor. It's because of hard labor. But right now, Iran is actually buying black people as we speak, and they're also using them for what they call nuclear energy. So it's a great source in the black market. But I'm done.
But how can we sell them? Are we supposed to refinance these black people? Are we supposed to refinance them and have Iran pay monthly
They're literally plotting on how they would finance us and enslave us modern day. Instead of fixing their country, instead of fixing themselves, they are plotting on selling us and financing us. Oh my God. I'd love to hear some Africans try to explain this shit away.
And they're also using them for what you call nuclear energy. So it's a great source in the black market. But I'm done
But how
talking.
can we sell them? Are we supposed to refinance these black people? Are we supposed to refinance them
No,
and have
basically tell
Iran
them
pay
basically tell them that
payments for these black
no
people that we're
basically
selling?
no basically you tell the Negroes that you will donate to an cancer, one of these stupid causes, right? And you extract their blood off that, and then you also donate it to Iran. But I'm done talking, so you guys can talk.
But what if we want to make this into a sustainable economic? If it's supposed to be sustainable, in order to be economically viable,
Yeah.
there should be a way to harvest them. So should they be
Are you talking
also
about
breeded
the
in groups?
yeah? If you talk
Like
about the
Now they're talking about also breeding us in groups to make this more economically viable. Oh Lord, we got some African Nazis among us.
To understand.
I call the plan the Great Economic Reset. I will not talk about it on this app. It's high level and operation that I plan to
All
carry
right,
out.
no worries. We can have
Yeah.
that conversation some other time. But I believe that you're onto something, and I actually honestly heard about this, not too while ago, and it's no wonder a lot of black people be supposedly tricked to move to Iran and relocate to Iran from United States. I've seen a lot of black families and black babies, moving to Iran, and it makes sense. They're probably um, the Iranians, those motherfuckers be they be doing some crazy shit, man.
Also, by the way, my country too, and I'm South African. My country also, and we're also creating more nuclear energy, so we're using them too. But I'm done talking.
Oh boy. Now they're done talking, huh? Now they're done talking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got quite a few people backstage now. We've still got Millie on the stage with us. I'm going to ask Millie to provide his opinion on what he just heard. Then I'm going to drop Millie down for just a moment and have the stage with Chuck Wu. After we chat with Chuck Wu, we're going to bring up That Ain't Dallas, and then we're going to bring up Mo Hawkins. Millie, you have the floor. What do you think about what you just heard?
Oh, thanks once again. I'll put it in there, boys. I mean, I think I put in the comments not to play the man instead of the ball, but these are East Africans, so they're a bit different from us. But obviously, this shouldn't mean anything to you guys. But yeah, it is what they're saying is actually quite sickening and revolting. And you notice they said black people, they don't even
No,
identify as black.
wait. Hold on, time out. It is great that you bring that up because us foundationals don't understand the subtle nuance. And from my experience speaking with so many members of the diaspora, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the East Africans in particular are some of the most racist, xenophobic. I think they've really adopted this identity crisis where they want to be seen as more Arabs rather than Africans. But I really do see the most egregious rhetoric from the East Africans. I will admit that.
Do you know a little bit of trivia? Like even in London, they in Northwest London, they've got some gang beef, and like there's this Somalian gang, and they kill black people because they don't identify with Africa. They kill black people because they say that black people are a different race to them. So I can't remember the name of the gang, but there is this East African gang comprised of Somalians and Ethiopians that actually kill black people, because they don't identify. They have beef with this other gang of black people because they don't identify with black people. But not to try to excuse what they're doing. It's just I'm just saying there is like a big difference. And yeah, the East Africans, they do kind of look up, because with Arab slavery, it was different to European slavery, because with Arabs is that if an Arab had a child with his slave, then not only would the slave be free, but the child be free as well. Whereas obviously compared to Europeans, like the slave masters used to sell their own children, everything like that. So that's how we said, okay, no matter what, we're still black. Whereas with in Arab slavery, people were aspiring to be Arab, and they felt being Arab was being free and having children with the slave master. So I don't know whether that's the reason behind it, but I think that's the reason why they kind of look up to Arabs. And so, but then again, I wouldn't know.
I got you. Well, real quick, I'm not gonna kick you off the show per se. I'm just gonna remove you from the stage, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna put you backstage. So I'm gonna put you
Okay.
backstage while have the floor with Shukwu. And then we've got a couple more people calling in. And then after everybody's been able to introduce themselves and provide opening remarks, I'll go ahead and bring you back.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Appreciate you giving me the floor anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for calling in. I mean, I do this kind of content with the sole purpose of having people call in. So thank you. The show would not be possible without you. And I'll be right back to you, Millie. Let me put you backstage for just a moment. Next up, we've got Chukwu Igwe. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, salute. Can you hear me? Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, you're coming through nice and clear. As always, we like to ask new callers, where are you from and where you calling in from?
All right, my situation is a little bit different. I was born in Nigeria. My mother is a Black American. My father is Igbo. So I am half Black American, half Igbo. So my experience is not going to be the typical experience of most Nigerians because, I grew up in a household with a Black American mother and a Nigerian father. So this is
Okay, so
why.
you grew up with a Black American mother and a Nigerian father. And were you
Mhm.
born and raised in the States?
No. I was born in Nigeria. I moved to the States when I was about 5 years old.
Okay, you moved to the States when you were about 5 years old. Okay, got it. And before we get into opening remarks as far as, your opinion on the topic at hand,
Mm.
I'm trying to find oh, you know what? When they banned you from the chat, it deleted the comment, so it's no way for me to pull it up. But if you can
Mhm.
just kind of reiterate your comment earlier, it was something along the lines of some Black Americans think that they are elite Europeans. Was
Oh,
that
yes.
right?
Yeah. Okay. So one thing you have to understand is this whole African versus FBA talking point is really just a social media phenomenon. This is something that you will find.
All right, I gotta pause the replay right quick to acknowledge Shamar. Thank you so much for the contribution, brother. I appreciate the support. Let me drop a bomb for Shamar. And let's keep this party going. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell. This is a new channel. We're building this from the ground up. I'm going to keep all of this type of content over here on this channel, while my main Mike TV channel is more catered to exposing the grifters and scammers. And, we'll talk about the migrant crisis and the Umar Johnsons. But when it comes to roasting these tethers, it's something that's a bit contentious, to say the least. And YouTube likes to penalize me for it. So we'll go ahead and do a separate channel over here where this content can rock out. But again, thank you, Shamar, for the contribution. And make sure you guys subscribe to the new channel.
Maybe in Black Twitter and on YouTube.
Sir, I have to pause you. I have to stop you. In your opinion, in your humble opinion, it may be a social media phenomenon. It is anything but. There are Somali gangs in the United States running amok. Your friend just even said that there was Somali gangs in the UK who were killing Black people because they delineate or something of the sort. I personally have even had run-ins where I fought 7 African tether babies at the same time at a 24-hour fitness because they were trying to do that tribal xenophobic fuck the basketball court. The African immigrant that came over here, shot some people, ran him over, and he said he did it because he hates Black people. So I understand, in your opinion, this only lives on social media, but in the real world, this is happening.
Well, I'm talking about my lived experience. Perhaps your experience is different than my own, but in my experience, I blend in with African Americans. They can't tell the difference between that. They don't even know if I'm Nigerian until they ask me what my name is or if they see my driver's license. So my difference.
Because you've done such a good job cosplaying. I mean, you don't have an accent. You probably don't have a crazy tether hairline. So yeah, you grew up in the states around us since you were 5 years old. So I'm not surprised that it's hard to distinguish.
But when I mentioned this thing about some FBAs think that there are elite Europeans, there is a YouTube channel, and I think you've even done a YouTube a review of this person's video. His name is BSIA. His whole thing is that Black Americans are elite Europeans with Black skin. So a Black American essentially is just an elite European, and the process of enslavement has made Black Americans some kind of a master race.
Okay, so the BSIA, I do remember who you're referring to. It's some failed content creator who together trying to versus African thing doesn't happen in the real world, that it only lives on social media. I had to point out, no, that's not the case. That might be the case in your limited experience. But now here you are, and you're using literally one content creator who isn't even a foundational, who's a goddamn tether. You're using this one example to say that some blacks believe we're elite Europeans. I mean, I'm just not understanding. Do you have more evidence besides just this one dude?
Well, no, but his message does resonate with a certain segment of Black Americans, and yeah, it seems
That's totally up for debate. I mean, he doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so clearly his message really doesn't resonate with any people. So, all right, I'm just not understanding how you made such a charged statement, and it
no,
was
I'm not.
really based off of
I'm
one content creator you watched.
I'm not, blanketing all Black Americans with one broad brush. I even made the distinction that this is something that I only encounter on social media. When I'm in the real world, I've never encountered anybody who approaches me with this idea. This is only something I see online. So most
And
Black Americans.
there are many black people who live in America who could say racism doesn't exist because, in my experience, I've never been a subject of racism or I've never been harmed by a law enforcement officer. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And also, since we are talking about lineage and delineating, somebody in the comment section said that your mother isn't a foundational Black American, that she's Bohemian. Is there any truth to
No,
that?
there's no truth to that. My mother is a Black American. My father is Nigerian, and I was born in Nigeria.
And where are your mother's people from?
Well, my grandmother, she's from Georgia. She traces her lineage to Georgia.
And how about the grandfather?
I have a grandfather who's from the Bahamas. So my grandparents.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Here we start with a tether babble, sir. I specifically said somebody in the chat said that your mother isn't FBA, she's Bohemian. No, no, she's FBA. Well, where are her people from? Well, her grandmother's from Georgia. Okay, and the grandfather? Well, he's from Bohemia. Sir. Why are we kind of pussyfooting around the fact that your mother isn't solely a foundational Black American? I don't understand why that's a point of contention for you.
It's not. Help me understand something. How many of your parents have to be a Black American for you to be an FBA? How many? Like, how does it work? What's the breakdown? Do you have to have two parents who are Black American to be FBA, or one?
Sir, before I answer your question, I'm still kind of trying to wrap my mind around the fact that for some strange reason, you came up here speaking candidly about the Nigerian side. You threw in the FBA side, but you didn't really mention, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it called Bohemian or?
Okay, my grandfather is from.
I just asked you a question. Is it called Bohemian?
I think it's Bahamian.
But Bahamian. So it just seems very interesting that it was like pulling teeth for you to even acknowledge the Bohemian side of your family. I mean, I'm not understanding why that wasn't brought up in the same breath as Nigerian.
Well, I was talking about my parents. If you want me to talk about my great grandparents, how many generations back do you want me to go?
Are your parents not a product of your grandparents?
Yeah, yeah. So
So I'm not trying to go to your great, but I think your grandparents definitely do factor into the discussion.
right,
Now to answer your question was something of the sort of like how many of your family members have to be FBA to be considered FBA or something
yep,
like that?
correct. How many? Like, if my grandmother is a Black American and my grandfather is a Bahamian, does that mean my mother a Black American, or is she Bahamian? Are you patrilineal, matrilineal? How do you trace the lineage?
Great question. I think this would be a question better suited for Tariq Nasheed, but I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. And to answer that question, I need a little bit more knowledge. Where was your mother born and raised?
Florida.
Okay. And you're saying that her father is the Bohemian, the mother
Mhm.
is a foundational, and
Correct.
then your half FBA mom got with a Nigerian guy, and you
Yep.
were born and raised in Nigeria till you were 5, and then you moved over here. When you fill out documentation, what do you identify or classify yourself as?
Black American.
There's a little bit of a pause there, but I'm gonna take your word for it. Okay,
Yep.
okay. Um, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do, because again, I would strongly urge you to get on one of Tariq Nasheed's Twitter Spaces and ask this question to him, because he's a much more authoritative figure when it comes to this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you my personal opinion,
Mhm.
which you can take with a grain of salt. And then I am going to create a poll in the chat, and I'm going to allow the court of public opinion to weigh in and say whether or not they believe you to be FBA or non FBA. So, real quick, before I give you my answer, I'm going to post
Mhm.
the poll in the chat right now. Let me refresh my screen here. This is an excellent question. I think that there are many people across the diaspora in similar situations as you who are, a bit mixed. And
That's
when we're
mixed.
talking about FBAs and when we're talking about delineating, it's pretty important to know where you stand when it comes to that topic of discussion. And you know what? My Wi Fi is really slow right now. Hold on a moment. Let me see if I can get this poll up. It might actually be best for me to just do it on my phone. Just a second. And if there's anybody new to the stream, hit the like button, hit the Cash App or the PayPal if you feel so inclined. I'm giving you guys this content on a weekend in hopes that we can bridge the divide across the diaspora. And let me see if I'm able to put the poll in here. All right.
Yeah. My question is, what happens with bi-ethnics? Which are bi-ethnics FBA, or are they the other side? How do you determine who's who?
Yeah, I feel you. I'm just trying to give you your proper day in the court of public opinion. So I'm trying to get this poll started, but the poll just really doesn't want to work for me. Give me just a second. And actually, Bridget, if you're present, Bridget, I believe you're like a elite moderator, some kind of classification like that. So I think you might even have the ability to start polls as well. But yeah, I'm trying to start this poll. All right, guys, I'm not gonna actually be able to start a legitimate poll. So what I'll do is, guys, just go ahead and post in the chat what you think. Go ahead and put a L if you think that no, he cannot claim FBA lineage or identify as a foundational Black American, and put W if you think he does have a claim to be a foundational Black American. Now, if I'm going to answer,
Mhm.
from my point of view, you've got one mother who's FBA, mixed with Bohemian. You've got a father who's Nigerian. You were born in Nigeria. What were the circumstances of you moving from Nigeria to the United States? Was this a situation where your family just saved up some money and you moved? Did you have to do like one of those lottery green card things? How exactly did that work?
Well, my father got American citizenship from marrying my mother, right? My parents met in university. They both went to a historically Black college or university, and my father's a doctor, and he worked in Nigeria until I was 5 years old, and then he got a better job here in the States. So that's why we moved here to the States, because he got paid more money to work here.
Interesting. So I don't believe in like a one drop rule kind of thing. I believe in weighing averages and looking at what the majority is. If we just look at the majority of your makeup, we can say that you're a quarter FBA, a quarter Bohemian, and then 50% Nigerian. Would you agree?
my question is then,
He took a deep breath on that one, sir. Sir, I'm just wondering if you agree that you're a quarter FBA, a quarter Bohemian, and 50% Nigerian. That's a yes or no.
that is one way to frame it.
Okay,
That
okay. If that's one way to frame it, I'm just, trying to get as much info as I can so I can give you my answer. Here's my answer. I think your mother giving birth to you and raising you in Nigeria, I think that greatly separates you further from being an FBA. I think that we are majoritively um, patriarchal in the sense that we look at our fathers, we get our father's surname, whatever your dad is kind of majority of what you are kind of deal. So I would say this. I would say for you to identify as a foundational Black American, I would take pause to that. Technically, you have 25% foundational Black American in your blood. So for you to try to claim the 25% and not claim what you're a majority of, I see that being a bit complicated. Now, if
well,
we speak about wait, now if we speak about reparations, though, reparations is a different discussion. I think if foundational Black Americans got reparations, I think you would have a reparations claim to a degree. I think due to your mother's lineage going through slavery, I think if you guys can track that through documentation and U.S. Census Bureau, I think that you may have a claim to receiving some reparations. But as far as you going through these YouTube streets and going in your everyday claiming I'm FBA, I really don't see that flying.
no,
But
I don't claim
what do you think
FBA.
about that?
I
Okay.
don't claim to be FBA in that sense. Like, my father's Igbo, that makes me Igbo ethnically, but in terms of citizenship, legally, I'm an American born abroad, but my ethnicity is Igbo, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. So my answer to your question, even though it was a long one, I mean, it took me a while to wrap my brain around this. I don't believe that you have a claim to identify as a foundational Black American, but you may have a claim to some reparations since you do have a part of your family, no matter how distant, that did, experience slavery in America. But what I want to do is I want to see what the chat is saying. Let's see. Sabrina says, "Sir, you're not FBA. He's not Black American. You're not nigga. He needs to trace his lineage back to the 1870 U.S. Census. Yes, yes. He has too much admixture. Tether ass dude. He's lying. He takes on the nationality of his father. Somebody's claiming that your mother's an anchor baby. Someone said I used to hear this dude on BSIA. I unsubscribed from that crap. Oh, so speaking of BSIA, that's a channel you used to frequent. Kobe said 75% tether, no pass. Why reparations will forever be it. Yeah, I feel you. His mother is an anchor baby. Kenji says the answer is no. A majority of your blood did not come from America. Ezra says it's true. Ask him if he would claim reparations. So if we were getting reparations, would you claim reparations? Yes or no?
Out of respect for my mother, I think I have to. Now, one thing I find is that
Hold on. I just wanted a yes or no quickly. I got to read through this chat real quick. The chat's been so active, and then I'll give you the stage to provide any more remarks. Amara says this is why reparations is such a difficult topic for FBA people. Jones says there's no bridge, Mike. McNeasy says this dude said he was Cuban too. He's a tether. His mother is Bahamian. His wife said it. Oh, so people are saying that your wife has actually said on the record that your mother's Bahamian. But all right.
okay, you have to understand Africans, we're patrilineal in that sense. So because my mother's father is Bahamian, Africans will say you are who your father is. So my wife says that she's Bahamian because her father's Bahamian.
So
But
your mama don't even claim FBA like that. She
no,
ain't even repping for the squad. Okay,
no.
okay. And real quick, I got to drop a bomb. Red Iron, thank you so much for the super chat. He says it has to go back 7 generations to the ancestors. Facts. I feel it. And real quick, Chuck, we are going to give you the floor. I just got to hurry up and speed read through these comments. Greet said he's a liar and a tether. We got an L. We got another L. We got another L. Let's see if we have a single W. Seems so far the consensus is You are not an FBA. Oh, well, we've got one W. You need to have one unbroken line. Okay. More L's. Hell no, go home. L's. Juice says you only take your mother's last name and nationality only if you're a bastard. If you know your father, you take his nationality and his last name. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
nationality
You
are not
got
the same.
like I said, I'm gonna give you the floor to respond to all the critiques and all the comments. L's, you're not a black American. L's always comes down to where you was born. Yeah. That does weigh in on it. You might get a percentage of your mother's reparation claim. Yeah, for real, for real. If we get millions, he might get some tens of thousands. L, his father didn't want him around black Americans. Lies. They're all doctors. Yeah, Nigerians do claim to be doctors more oftentimes than not. Feisty Black Tina says L. His mother is second generation with Bahama parents. Their family is not FBA. He was raised in Nigeria. Yeah, I feel you on that one. Draining resources from the home country. He sounds like a op. He was sent to learn his Nigerian culture. Don't you go by your father? Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I was applying for Native American citizenship federally through my tribe, they went through my father's lineage, and I had to have a family member on my father's side who was recognized on the tribal roll. So yeah, globally, we really do go by your father. Someone said he's 90% tether. You want to be FBA so bad. Nakwan said, me and Tariq and Dr. Claude already discussed this. It is who at least one of your parents is, and also what you 100% culturally side with. No ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. And so far, it seems like one of your parent isn't 100% FBA. We got absolutely not. If his mother is FBA, she can be FBA. Reparations also requires how one has self-identified. Okay. We got a new viewer in the building. What's good, Panther? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, father's DNA is where it starts. His mother's a Caribbean. It was answered in the chat. Yeah, I think we got to it. What has he classified himself as for the last 10 years? Yeah. Nah, this dude is African and Caribbean. He speaks white supremacist talking points. He ain't getting shit. Nah, it ain't about how you class yourself. It's about what seed you come from. Simple. Let me see. We got tethered tactics. Hell no, both parents on both sides got to be FBA going before 1865. His mom, Bahamian parents, there's no FBA. His mom being born in the US, born to foreign parents. Apple seeds ain't claiming to be plum seeds. He is Igbo, not FBA. He just said it. Absolutely not. You are what your father is, non-FBA. More else. Tether splaining. Okay, I'm almost caught up with the chat. Else. Yeah, Bridget, I wasn't able to get the poll started. It's all good. We went it the hard way. Check his hairline. The European concepts. Hell nah, we ain't. FBA lineage must go back to the 1870 U.S. Census. Hella obby. Ask him why him and his brother are in FBA spaces so much. Interesting. All right. You people have not studied the American reparations legislation. Okay, well, it looks like you got my opinion, and then you also got the opinion from the chat that does claim you may be entitled to a reparation claim partially, but as far as being an FBA or identifying an FBA, it's a hell to the hell to the hell to the hell nah. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor to provide some remarks uninterrupted. You have the stage.
Right. Okay. So one of the things that I do encounter is that if I say I'm a Black American, FBAs call me a tether. But then if I say I'm an Igbo, a lot of FBAs or a lot of Black Americans will say, why don't I claim my Black American side? So it's a heads I win, tails you lose situation with Black Americans. Most Black Americans want to claim me as one of them, and my nationality is Black American. When I fill out my paperwork, it's all Black American. But my ethnicity is Igbo because my father's Igbo, and that is just culturally.
Aren't you an immigrant, sir?
Well, because in the United States, if you have one American parent, you are an American no matter where you're born on the earth. You're American at birth no matter where you're born on the earth.
Sir, that's a yes or no question. Are you a immigrant?
No, technically I'm an American citizen at birth.
Sir, did you immigrate or migrate to the United States, or were you born here?
I was born in Nigeria to an American parent.
You are a immigrant.
Well, when I was born in
Your mother, who you like to claim so heavily when it's convenient for you, she's also a immigrant. Her people migrated here, at least on the grandfather side, right?
well, no, because okay, my mother's father is Bahamian. My mother's mother is a Black American from Georgia. You understand? So
Was your
she's
mother born a U.S. citizen?
yes, of course she was.
Okay.
She was born here in Florida.
Because she was born in Florida. Now you're born and raised in Nigeria, trying to
No, no,
claim that same level of citizenship.
no. I was born in Nigeria. I was been in the United States since I was 5 years old. I was raised here. I was born in Nigeria. That's the distinction.
Sir. If you were born in Nigeria and didn't
Right.
come to America till you were 5 years old, where were you from inception to age 5?
I was in Nigeria.
So you were born and raised in Nigeria.
Well, yeah, you could say it that way.
Why is it so hard for you to come to terms with that?
No, I'm at peace with that. But what you don't understand is that in the United States, if you have an American parent, you are an American. If I was born in Russia, I would be American. If I was born in China, I would be an American. The same circumstances in any other country, I'm equally as a.
Sir, we're not talking about the fine line or the semantics over whether or not you're American. We're talking about your claim to being a Black American. That's different. I'd gladly call you an African American, but a Black American, we know colloquially that's a term used to refer to us foundationals. When you talk about a Black American, you typically aren't talking about somebody born in Nigeria, raised in Nigeria till 5, and then relocated to America. That's not what people mean when they say Black American. Can you be classified as an American? Yes. But for you to have this weird fetish wanting to be included into, being a Black American and stuff, when stuff your genetics is Nigerian, I mean, it's
Interesting.
so I've got to ask this. A lot of people in the chat have said that
I'm not hearing you so great. I think you broke the last few things you said. I didn't really hear so good.
Okay. I said a lot of people in the chat have said that you frequent FBA spaces a lot. Is that true?
Yeah, BSIA. I check out his channel sometimes.
Is that the only FBA related channel, if we even want to call it that, or?
I've been to Black Alpha Network's channel too.
Okay. So what is it that attracts you to these kind of channels?
The rhetoric, this FBA rhetoric seems to be different in different channels. So it seems to be it's kind of like a religion that has different denominations. So your denomination of FBA is different than BSIA, and it's also different from Black Alpha Network. It's just curious to me how people who claim to be FBA have different opinions about who is and who isn't FBA and what a tether is. Those things are variable. It's
Okay.
interesting.
Well, just to clear up any misconception, being an FBA is not a religion. There's not different denominations. It's a lineage-based claim. So either you're FBA or you're not FBA. And the reason why we're delineating so much is because we have a lot of tethers among us, like BSIA, who make channels talking about FBA issues because it's trending and because it's a big topic of discussion. And in fact, they're not even foundational. So I understand how the waters have been muddied, but being an FBA is a lineage-based claim that's very simple. There's no confusion. If you're talking about ADOS, you could say ADOS is like a religion. It even has different chapters and different little wings and departments to it. But being an FBA is a lineage-based claim, nothing to do with a religion at all.
Okay, understood. Well, I just your content is interesting. Your rhetoric is unique and different. So I appreciate you having me up on the panel, and I'll listen to the rest of the show from the back chat. Thanks
All
for having
right,
me.
for sure. Thanks for calling in. Oh boy, that was an interesting one, y'all. God damn it, I never thought that I would have to be the deciding factor on whether somebody's FBA or not. I said, wait, this is a complicated one. I need as much intel as I can get. Okay, one parent has a parent that's FBA, one is from Bohemia, then the Nigerian, then they're born and raised in Nigeria, and they came over. All right, it was very complicated. It was very complicated. And guys, this is why we have to delineate. This is why we have to stand on our own square, because we have so many tethers creating these quote unquote FBA spaces, creating these FBA YouTube channels, and these motherfuckers don't show up on camera. I wonder why. Guys, if there's ever an FBA content creator who refuses to show up on camera talking some real weird slick tether babble, I wonder what they really are. Mm-mm-mm. But ladies and gentlemen, we've had a few more people backstage patiently waiting. Some of them not so patiently. They got the hell up out of here. I'm going to drop the StreamYard link again if there's anybody that wants to call in and weigh in on the topic at hand. But in order, the next person coming from the back to the front is Mo Hopkins. Mo, you got a little bit of an echo there. Do you have the YouTube video playing somewhere?
No.
All right,
Is it
let me
still
see if the
echoing?
echo is still going. A little bit, but it's not as bad. What I'll just have to do is I'll mute you when I'm speaking, so there's no double feedback. And then when you're speaking, I'll just make sure not to interrupt. So Mo, where are you calling in from, and where are your people from?
I'm calling in from Fort Worth, Texas, and my people from Fort Pierce, Texas. My dad's side from York, Pennsylvania.
God damn it, y'all. You see how it's so easy to spot a tether? You know this man is not a tether because he answered that question expeditiously. He answered that question with ease. He didn't get into a whole bunch of well, my great-great-grandfather was a hood. Oh Lord. Well, Mo, now that you've answered the first question, you have the floor. Let us know what you think about all the content you've seen so far.
Yeah, I find it strange how a lot of Africans tend to try to muddy this issue up as if it's not something very common amongst the African people. I was a former Pan African myself, and during this time, I even went as far as to learn the language and go to Rwanda. Tend to like the Tutsi people because they never sold slaves, so I like them. I went around them, and they had actually have more respect than I perceived the Nigerians to have for us when they were quick to tell me I was an Okata. It was a very different thing being around the West Africans than it was to be around like the Rwandese. I'm not going to say East Africans because there are a lot of Somalis and Ethiopians who have this strange feeling of strange ideal set about Black people. But the people of Rwanda, they definitely were different. I don't like to look at Africa as one place because um, they're not all the same. Those West Africans, they definitely have an elitist view of us. If you get into a little roast with them, they'll kind of show it with you by telling you stuff like they know who they are. We sold you. They'll say a little slick shit like that, and to let you know that they know their role in the whole in our subjugation. So a lot of times I see them try to be dismissive of what Africans' real role in our subjugation was. You can totally look it up. The Berlin Conference did not happen until 1885. So we were free slave. We were freedmen by 1865. So their colonization didn't begin to 20 years after that. Their own documented records of them literally going and finding each other and working directly with the Europeans. Their old kingdoms, the Khan kingdom or whatever they want to call it. All those tribal kings and chiefs worked with the Europeans, made deals, and they continue to this day. I mean, the oldest slave colony, well, slave dependent nation on record is Egypt. And then to this day, you can find slaves being sold in Libya and in South Sudan. So I really want to come here and because I've seen a lot of stuff going on lately online about, Pan-Africanism and the fallacy about it. And a lot of us are catching on to it. And it is a complete fallacy because it's not rooted in Africa anywhere. Africa is ruled by tribalism. Even in the place that I had went to in Rwanda, there was in 1994 there was a genocide there by one ethnic group against another. The Hutus of the civilization population of an ethnic group literally picked up machetes and whatever they could find and went and murdered 1 million people in less than a year. You know, so there's no Pan-Africanism in terms of what they're saying. Like I don't understand it because like once I started studying and really looking into what they were saying about Pan-Africanism, when I understood that, okay, let me go here and learn about it. Once I learned about Africa and seeing how it was ran, and even before the Europeans really discovered it, it's always been tribal. It's tribalist. They've always um, labeled themselves by their ethnic group or their tribe or their tribe. It's never been no Pan-Africanism in Africa, and the fact that it started over here makes me also question like, why? What is the point of it? Like, what was it there for? What did they
Hold on,
bring?
Mo. And brother, the only reason why I muted you is because there's a little feedback issue. So if we both talk at the same time, it's going to be crazy for the audience to hear. But you're saying that you kind of realize Pan-Africanism is a one-sided thing, and you're kind of getting to the root of it. Why? Why would this even be something that was created by us, seemingly? Why would it be something that we should ride for, try to endorse? What is it about this Pan-Africanism thing? My humble opinion is I think anything that keeps our people in a perpetual state of stasis is promoted and is endorsed. Pan Africanism has done nothing for Black Americans for the last 40 years other than influence us to rock a onk and a daishiki on Black History Month. We have not got any tangibles from being Pan African. The African immigrants that come over here, they receive programs on subsidies, but we can't even get dual citizenship in a single African country. Matter of fact, when I first started my YouTube channel going on a little over a year ago, these kind of streams, the whole Black American versus African, I wasn't making content like this. I used to do segments called Connecting the Diaspora. And my whole point was to get people from all walks of life around the world to call in. We can compare notes, we can chop up some game, and we can talk about empowerment because I too believed in this false ideal of Pan Africanism. And it wasn't until I started producing that content and getting on Twitter and seeing, whoa, hold on, these Africans don't like us. They shit on us. If anything, they talk like white supremacists. It wasn't until I realized, God damn it, I've been rocking and riding for people who don't give a fuck about me. They're killing each other, let alone us. So then I was like, hold on, we really got to shed light on this issue instead of just trying to preach some, we are the world, we are the children. But with that, I land my plane.
That's beautifully stated, though. Like that's exactly what I ended up finding out. I don't want to say that all of the Africans hate us, because some of them definitely do admire and look up to our achievements. But when you see people post things and call it Black culture and they post actions of the few downtrodden um, individuals who may be in our community, and they say, "Oh, this is Black culture." But it's like, yo, why would you skip every actor, every uh, historical achievement, every invention, every global social effect, every leader, um, humanitarian, musicians, arts? You skip all of that and say that this one act of a downtrodden act, maybe somebody took their kid to a strip club or something, whatever happened. This one, whatever ratchet little action, they say, oh, this is Black culture. This conflation. It's like me calling all of Congolese culture what's going on in East Congo right now. 6.5 million people have been murdered, 27.5 million have been displaced, and they have scattered all around the world. If I conflated that to Congolese culture, to all the things of Congo, it'd be ignorant of me. And they show their ignorance when they label these actions as Black culture. They have been obviously brainwashed by the white media. And I want to land my plane with that. But I definitely want to say I appreciate you getting this content out, brother. And don't worry about no division or any of that. It's already been divided. I can guarantee you. They are already divided. We need to divide ourselves. It's the best thing we can do moving forward, and to focus on ourselves. And peace, love, and reparations for the people. And I land my plane.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. Peace, love, and reparations. I feel it, y'all. I feel it. Now, hold on, y'all, real quick. We have somebody backstage named Ola. Ola, go ahead and click the link, call back in. You just have to have a little bit of patience, Ola. That's all. You got to have a little bit of patience. We've got people waiting backstage, and it's first come, first serve. So, Ola, if you are listening to me, call back in. You will get your time to speak. But next, coming from the back to the front, we've got Derek. Derek, can you hear me okay? Oh, you're on mute, Derek. Derek, going once, going twice. Okay, Derek, can you hear me? All right, Derek, you are not on mute anymore, but we still cannot hear you. I'm gonna go ahead and kick you from the studio just so you can click the link and try to call back in. With that said, Ola, if you want to click the link, you'll get pushed right to the front of the line since Derek Smith is still sorting out the audio. So if we still got a Ola that wants to call in, then Ola, click the link. But while we wait to see if we have anybody else that wants to call in, we still got Millie hanging tight. Hey, Millie, what do you think about the conversation with your boy Chuck? That was pretty interesting, right?
Oh dear. I don't want to throw shade on the brother, but I was thinking, okay, if I wanted to lie and say that I'm FBA, how would I go about it? And I thought in my head that I'd probably say it exactly the same way he said it. I would say that I'm quarter FBA, and like my grandmother was foundational Black America, and I probably would say it like that. But like I said, I don't want to like down him. He might be telling the truth, but I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be a wanker
we
and just try to.
we really got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, you're right. If somebody was to lie and try to claim to be something they're not, then that's how they would do it. They would sprinkle in, oh well, my great grandmother, like, yeah, it was just real fishy. I mean, born and raised in Nigeria, daddy's Nigerian, mom claims Bohemian, doesn't even claim FBA, but her mom's supposed to be. Yeah, it was just real muddied waters, real muddied waters. And
Yeah.
real quick, we do have some more people calling back in. So Millie, I'm gonna drop.
Above. Oh, can I just ask you like this couple of questions and then
Yeah, go for it.
I'll hush for the night. So, if I wanted, it's a little bit out there, but if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to fulfill my childhood dream of marrying an FBA woman, like how would you sort of feel about someone who's not FBA marrying an FBA woman?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't impact me at all. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, hey, you can marry an FBA woman, you can marry an Asian, you can marry a Syrian, you can marry a white woman. The only prerequisites that me and mine have is don't be a coon. Other than that, I don't give a
Okay.
damn who you lay up with.
Okay, I hear that. And one more thing, can I just ask, like, what do those of us who are outside of the FBA family, like, what do you feel we have to do in order to sort of show our loyalty to you? Because, like I said, I'm always speaking up for you. Even when I'm on Tariq Nasheed's comment section, I'm always trying to say, like, I'm with the FBAs. I'm not FBA, but I support you. But I sometimes I feel it goes on deaf ears. So I really appreciate you giving me this opportunity. But what do you think we should do in general so that we know exactly what we should do? I mean, I know we know what we shouldn't do, but what should we actually do to show our loyalty? Because I know there's many of us in the UK who absolutely support you guys with everything you do. And what would you suggest that we do?
I think there's two different things you can do. The first thing is the most tangible. When it comes to helping any struggle, it always comes down to resources. So if you were to provide any donations or any contributions to help in the FBA struggle, I think that would go a long way. But the issue with that is you have to, through the arts of discernment, learn which campaigns you want to endorse or which content creators you want to donate to. For example, people were name dropping that BSIA dude. That motherfucker is a tether. He's not FBA at all. I don't care what he talks about on his channel from time to time. He's a tether troll. So that would not be an FBA brother to send a cash app to you thinking he's going to empower or uplift anybody or create any kind of social equity or change. So I would say, for one, it always comes down to dollars. So make sure that if your dollars are to support our struggle, you put those
Or
dollars.
pounds?
Yeah, or pounds. Yeah, you make sure to put those contributions in a correct space. And in my humble opinion, the only real real solid people that I see pushing this line is like I'd hate to say it, Tariq Nasheed. I mean, Tariq Nasheed has said, "Hey, donate to me. We are crowdfunding for a museum." He then went out and built said museum. He's crowdfunded time and time again to build different documentaries that don't just uplift Black Americans, but uplift people across the diaspora. And he has produced those, and they have been very successful. So I would say Tariq Nasheed is definitely somebody who rocks with us, who's pushing us forward. Other than that, I can only vouch for myself. So the only people
Okay.
I rock with is myself and Tariq, and those that rock with me, and those that rock with us. So that's one part of the answer. The second part of the answer, which has absolutely nothing to do with finances, is speak out. I mean, when we were going through Jim Crow and you know different levels of subjugation and segregation, I mean, do you know how impactful it was, especially at that time, to have a white person advocating for us, to have a white person checking their fellow white person saying, "Wait, why are you acting like this? Why are you treating these people like this?" So the most powerful thing you can really do besides financial contributions is whenever you see these tethers talking out of pocket, whenever you see these Africans, whether they're East African or West African or anything in between, check that shit at the door. Why are you guys speaking like this? Why are you guys let them know that shit is not okay? And I think that that will really go a long way, because it's one thing for us to rag on the tethers and say tethers are doing this, tethers are doing that, but it holds so much weight when they have a fellow African putting them in check, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think us in the UK, especially, like we really hold that sentiment because we're outnumbered like you guys are. So therefore, we definitely understand your plight, and I don't think you'll ever find someone, especially someone who's born in this country, especially like 30 or 40 years ago, then they definitely would not ever sit with the opposite side, because we've been victims of the opposite side almost as much as you guys have. So yeah, like I said, I'm glad that you give me this opportunity to actually voice out my support for you guys. I don't really like whenever an African says something disparaging against you, it just makes my toes curl. Like, oh gosh, not another one. Now, and I think, and even when Terry Nasheed slaps him back, I think, yeah, you deserve that. I'm not even offended, because he definitely deserved that. He said something that was really out of pocket, and he deserved that bollocking he's getting. So yeah, just thanks once again for giving me this opportunity. Oh, and another thing, because I heard people talk about the right of return in Ghana, and I'm not trying to cause a spanner in the works, but it's like, if these African countries can hardly provide for their own people, then what are the chances do you think that they're going to do anything for someone returning if these countries can barely provide for their own? And mind you, Ghana is a much more sustained, stable country than Nigeria, but even they have their struggles too. And so I just wanted to always say that, okay, if they can't even do it for their own citizens,
Yeah.
then there's little chance they're going to be able to do it for anyone returning back to Ghana.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And most people have been hoodwinked when it comes to that year of return and all that bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not trying to give anybody dual citizenship. What they are doing is a tourism scheme. They are telling us, hey, if you want to come over here, we need your banking and routing information. We need to know how much money you have in your accounts. You have to be endorsed by a business owner here, and you have to pledge to start a business or develop property. This is very similar to, like, I'm sure you've heard about it. I think it's Italy or Rome. You can go over there and buy a castle for like $100 or something. But what they don't tell you in the fine print is that castle is uninhabitable, and you're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars renovating it. So, the whole Ghana year of return bullshit is literally a tourism plot for them to, and you basically bolster up their GDP with tourism dollars. It's not like the Jewish community, for example. When I was dating a Jewish woman, and she was telling me how no matter what country you live in, if you are Jewish, I think through the mother's side, you can get like a free trip over to Israel. They'll put you up in a house. They'll help you migrate over there. I mean, we don't see anything like that when it comes to African nations. We see tourism ploys time and time again. And with that said, I land my plane. Millie, I'm gonna drop you backstage, but I'm gonna bring you up again in just a bit. In order, coming from the back to the front, we've got Ola, then we've got Derek who called back in, and then we've got Seduction Doll. Nice to see you, Seduction Doll. I definitely look forward to chopping it up with y'all. But we got Ola. Ola, can you hear me okay? Ola, you're on mute. All right, Ola, you've got to unmute yourself. Got to put down the Jollof. I know your fingers are sticky and grimy from the foo-foo. Maybe you can just find a napkin or lick your fingers and unmute yourself. I mean, all right, Ola, we try to give you a chance. We try to give you a chance. Ola, I'm going to go ahead and kick you from the studio. Click the link and call back in if you can learn how to take yourself off of mute. With that said, we've got Derek coming from the back to the front. Derek, can you hear me okay? All right, Derek, I'm not hearing any audio from your end. Can you try saying something, Derek? All right, ladies and gentlemen, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Derek also has connection issues. We'll have Seduction Doll come up next. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, Mike. I have the connection issues. I'm with my husband, Chain Kruma.
It's Chain Kruma as well.
What's good? What's good?
I brought him up here with me because I was really sick, so I don't have my camera on. But we know each other, so I just want to say.
Yeah, it's all good.
I want to say something about the FBA thing and what was it? Black Alpha. Like we follow Black Alpha and pretty much most of the new Black media FBA content producers. I like to say producers. We follow them a lot sometimes and boost their messages. I don't see a difference when old boy was talking about the difference in content. The thing is that if you're not familiar with him and you're not familiar with his energy, then you can see how he's a little different. He gets he does a lot of content for us, just like you do, and a lot of others. But that is an FBA brother all day with a FBA wife. The thing is, I've seen that with other
Wait,
creators.
which content creator are you referring
Black
to?
Alpha.
Black Alpha Network.
Yeah, Black Alpha Network.
Black Alpha Network. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to look into him for sure.
He has he usually does like 3-hour shows
Every Tuesday.
Yeah. And lately it's been about the migrant crisis and whatnot. He's just hype, and a lot of that good energy helps motivate us, to continue to do the work on our end over here, with me and Che. The thing is, we have to stand up for each other. As far as FBA, they don't want to stand up for us. They don't other tethers, anchor babies, whatever. They don't stand up for FBA. They don't ride for us. And at the end of the day, when they have to choose, they're not going to choose FBA or their lineage or their place of birth, or they're not going to choose us. And we have to be sure that we have to know that, secretly, like within ourselves. We see it all day, every day, that they argue against what foundational Black Americans are talking about. They push back. It's a sad tragedy, really, if you think about it, because we're not asking for anything right now. We're demanding and telling them that we need to be recognized. That's all I wanted to say. Jesse, you want to say something else?
Like Tariq and others have already stated, they need to hold their own nuts. If they're speaking against our reparations claim, if they're speaking against what foundational Black Americans are demanding from this political system, then they're the enemy, and they need to be treated as such. We're not sitting up here telling them what they deserve and what they need in their countries. So why are they coming over here thinking they're going to dictate to us what we need and what we want? We have a saying over here: you sue your colonizer. You so worried about our reparations claim, why don't you sue Britain? Why don't you sue the French? Why don't you sue your colonizers?
Exactly.
Whoever colonized you, sue them instead of focusing on us. We literally live truth rent free in their minds. They hate us so much, but they want to be just like us. They want to act like us, talk like us, walk like us. But then they sit up here and say that we're lazy, we're akatas, we're good for nothing. But yeah, you steady trying to be like us, and you steady fleeing over here to the country that our ancestors built. You wouldn't have no country to flee to if it wasn't for us. But yeah, you sit up here talking about we lazy, we're akatas, we don't deserve nothing, we're ungrateful, and all of this shit. And then at the same breath, talking about we're all Africans, we're all just one big nigga, we're all Africans. Well, first of all, like Tariq Nasheed said, those countries that existed then, or the kingdoms that existed then, because they weren't even countries that existed then, it was kingdoms. They don't even exist anymore. So you keep talking about we need to go back to Africa, we need to repatriate. Like you said, Mike, TBA, none of them countries offering no dual citizenship to any of us. So, like I said, they can hold their own nuts, and they need to sue their own their colonizer and stay the hell out of FBA business.
One last thing, Mike. I saw that I got the little, the couple of lives you did with the Africans and the FBA. And a lot of them were
Yep.
I thought that they was cooning it up for us, a bad representation. I just wanted to say that was pretty damn interesting. And you see how they talk, like especially when they didn't understand what racism we was talking about. You see how they was
That was wild.
that African lady. I was like, oh my gosh, because she's serious. But I just wanted to talk about that you produced such excellent content. And that's all I want to say. So we give you a big round of applause over here.
Yes, and a big
NBA side.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Mile High City.
Yeah, we're calling out a Denver
warm
right
out
now.
there.
So thank you, brother.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all the support. And I urge you guys, if it's within your means, to become a member of the channel, because when you become a member of the channel, you actually get access to a private Discord server. And on that Discord, you guys, have a direct line to me. You can call me, text me, keep me in the know of different links I should react to, or different things going on in these YouTube
We're
streams.
on the Discord.
So yeah.
We're on the Discord with Black Light Revelations, Rob from Black Light Revelations.
Yeah, I know Rob.
Yeah, so we're real cool with Rob. But yeah, we'll definitely check you out, and we'll definitely see if we can join.
Yeah, because I tried to do that last week, and I couldn't make it possible. I think I was just missing something, or I couldn't make a connection. And plus, like, I wanted to gift you something, but my card wouldn't let me do it. Just because it didn't have it's I was using a prepaid debit, so I have to put it back on like a PayPal or Cash App. So
I feel you. They definitely be. Yeah, no, I feel you. I be using the prepaid debit cards too, and certain platforms be discriminating against them for some reason, and I'm like, damn, money is money, right? but yeah, no, it's all good, and yeah, and I appreciate you guys for calling in and continuing to rock with me. I mean, it's people like you that make the show possible, so I appreciate the support.
Thank
you,
brother.
No doubt, Mike. Keep up the good work.
We're gonna jump down. Thank you, brother.
Will do. Talk to you soon. And with that said, I'm so sorry, Shabazz. I'm just now seeing your Cash App that came through. Shabazz, thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody showing up and showing out, and especially the people clicking the link and calling in. Like I said at the start of the stream, I normally don't do streams on the weekends, take time to myself, do other kind of work. But I think this is an interesting and very important discussion that needs to be had. I even went out of my way to schedule this very, very, very early in the day, my time, in hopes that we can have some members of the diaspora call in. With that said, let's keep things in order. We've got Ola, who's called back in. Ola, can you unmute your microphone this time?
Yes. You hear me?
Ola. Yeah, and Ola, real quick, I know we talked to you a few days ago, but
look.
Wait, chill. For everybody who's unfamiliar with you, let them know where you're calling in from.
Just stop muting me. I'm calling from Nigeria. That's why sometimes the internet is off and on.
And this motherfucker said, I'm calling them from Nigeria. That's why the internet is off and on. I feel it. I feel it. It'd be some load shedding going on in Nigeria.
No, it's Atlanta too, man. You just want in Atlanta, some part of Atlanta, they don't have internet like that. You know what I mean? So don't shit
Damn.
on Nigeria because you like to shit on them. Look, that British guy that just came in that is capping towards you, that's a weak old shit guy. That African guy. Man, you just feeding some Negroes here, man, that are very, very weak. Don't you think so?
It's very difficult and challenging to hear through that thick accent at times. It
I
sounds like
said,
you
I
said,
said,
whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
s-
hold on. It sounds like you said that Millie, the dude from the UK, is weak somehow. Is that right?
yes. It's a weak dude.
And why do you think that he is a weak dude?
What the British, what this so-called nasty black British, who could have said black British for the Africans? I just thought that man, black British Americans or black Americans, they're not the same. In England, if you are African or you are black or you're Jamaican, there's not like black British over there. So he came here to be copy because I understand most dirty British, dusty British guys. Oh, they want to look upon the black American lad.
Sir, hold on. How are you going to call him a dusty British guy when you yourself are married to a dusty Dutch woman?
Bring that motherfucker in, man. We don't
All
cop like
right,
we
hey, I will grant your request. I will bring him in. Millie, are you still here? Yo, Millie, you're on mute. Oh, Millie might be AFK. I'm gonna see if we can get Millie to call back in and have the floor with you,
It's a
Ola.
dusty guy capital people that don't even like your ass. You know, they don't like you. The Tariq should hate you. You're a tether to their eyes. Especially you British that live in England. That's you probably the worst ones even. You try to copy them, try to behave like them. America is different from England. I've been to England a lot of times. You know, what they go cap off. You have to be strong. You have to be African. That yourself. Be strong. Stand your ground. You know, bring him in.
All
Wait
right,
for my
okay. Hold on. I am gonna bring him in. But there's something I have to do before I bring him in. There's something I have to do real quick before I bring him in. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Here we go. Now we've got Millie backstage. We're gonna bring him up in just a moment, but there's a little bit of due diligence I have to do. Give me just a sec. Just a little bit of due diligence. And while I filibuster for a minute, let me go ahead and leave you with some tunes courtesy of Tariq.
It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. Booyaka, booyaka, run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, boom, 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 boom. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, boom, 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 boom. Government. The government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think I have found the piece of content that I was looking for. I think I found it.
You
I
don't have to
think
play
I
that music
found
for
it.
because I don't.
Hold on, Ola. Chill. Ola, chill. Hold on just a second. Just a second. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. This is oh so important. You always got to let people know who they're dealing with, what's going on. All right. Damn, for me to find the exact one, though. You know what? It's going to take too long. We got people backstage. we just got to keep the show moving. What I was trying to do real quick is pull up the clip of Ola on the channel the other day because it's so interesting that he has so much contempt for Millie for being in the UK when Ola, a Nigerian calling in from Nigeria with his white Dutch wife and his mixed babies included, he was on our show the other day and he referred to us as slaves, y'all. He said us foundational Black Americans are nothing more than slaves, but now he's up here today trying to call Millie a tether. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not a tether just because you migrated away from the continent of Africa. You are a tether if you adopt a mindset of white supremacy and actively work against our interest. Millie hasn't said anything that seems tetherish in the slightest. Meanwhile, Ola has been on my channel for hours at a time talking about we ain't nothing but slaves. Ola, do you remember the slave comments you made?
You could stand him because it's copy towards you. That he ain't gonna do that to you, bro. If
Ola, are you going to admit that the other day you referred to us as slaves, or am I making that up?
man, you try to mess on me too. I meant back to you too, bro.
Okay. So I was messing on him and he messed back on me. I guess his version of messing back on me is calling us slaves. Either way, I just wanted you guys to know who you're talking to. This is a Nigerian man whose father went to America to go to an HBCU to get his education. Then he returned to Nigeria, where Ola was born and raised. Ola worked for a French oil corporation that was exploiting his country's resources. And while working for that French oil corporation, he had a white Dutch boss, and he chose to proposition his white Dutch boss, not just for dating, but also for marriage. They've been married for about 20 years, and now they've got some half Dutch, half Nigerian babies as well. So I just wanted to give you guys a little background into who this Ola is, who's calling in here, calling other people tethers when he's the biggest tether we've seen this week. Millie, can you hear me okay, Millie?
I can hear you, sir. Yeah.
All right. Well, Millie, for some reason, Ola is very triggered at the fact that you're in the UK. I think he just really wishes he didn't live in Nigeria anymore. But either way, I'm going to give you guys the floor. Go ahead.
Don't get me wrong. No, man. No. I don't want to live in Europe. You know, I've been there, done that. You know, man. Why you coming towards if you're an African? Why you shitting African here? You shit on people who shit on Africans daily every time. Then you come and be sorting whether Nigeria, whatever, or Ghana, whatever you're talking about. If you want to play your nice game towards them, why did you play your nice game towards them? Have every African ever tell you to say sorry to them or to say sorry to this your masters that you're leaning towards to? Why you leaning towards? Why you mention African name here? They don't like you. I don't know if you're Africa or Jamaica. Let's say you're Jamaica. You're even the worst one they don't even like. You understand me? So cabin towards them is not going to do you any shit because they don't like you because you don't be nice. That's what they even tolerate you. If otherwise they will not even know nothing about you. The way you speak towards these people annoyed me a lot and irritated me a lot. I'm not saying you that's your right, that's your prerogative. But me as an African person, I will always, if they chase me, I will chase after the ass more than 20 times. Not going to say sorry to these motherfuckers. You know, they sit in this panel and knock on Africans every time, every period, every day. You know? Stop playing that shit, man. That's how you sound. That's how you sound. That's how you sound. That you fucking Black America. That's how you sound, man.
Ola, go ahead. You wanted the stage with Millie. Tell Millie how he's a tether.
He doesn't live in America, so he's not a tether. I said, why is it capping towards you? Because you are full of shit. That's just the truth. Why is it capping towards you? You sit here every time you South Africans or Africans like this. You are your master anyway. Tariq Rashid. You're that big fool inside. It's full of shit also. You understand? We don't give that shit out like that. We Africans, we're far more better than your motherfuckers, man. I only respect only one person like music, but not y'all, man. You're a piece of shit. No. I cannot be speaking to you. I'm a superior black, more powerful than you. You've been mixed up. with all kind of shit, pancake, eating some shit over there. You want to shit on Africans? We have mother shit on you too, bro. Eating waffles.
I'd rather eat pancakes and waffles than jollof.
Your food. You eat Scottish food. Even your soul food is Scottish food. What you got? No, I cap it towards yo. You know, I come to you. No, man.
Yeah,
I just say
Millie.
jollof
Hey,
rice.
Millie, I'm sorry. For some reason, Ola had so much vitriol and contempt for you, but as soon as I put you guys back up on the panel together, he's kind of pussyfooting. He's kind of he's kind of shucking and
Okay.
jiving. Oh,
Okay.
and he just dropped off. So we'll see if Ola calls back in. But I think he was trying to say that you're a tether, and he's trying to say that we just bash Africans. So why are you over here when we bash you? But what do you think, Millie?
Okay, can I just say before anything that jollof rice tastes absolutely nice. It's lush. But anyway, but let me just go into my point. The reason why I call myself a Black Brit is not because I'm trying to win acceptance from the indigents of these islands. It's because that I'm trying to say that I say Black and Brit, they're inseparable for me. It's that I share the same experience. So it doesn't matter where if a person has the same color as me, it doesn't matter what his background is, whether he is Ghanaian, whether he's Jamaican, it's that we go through the same experience. Ola and I'm also Nigerian, if Ola didn't know, and we're from opposite ends. I don't know whether I know he's from the West, I don't know whether he's from Ogun State, but that's not really the point. Is that in Nigeria, Ola and I probably wouldn't be the best of mates, wouldn't be pen pals, but when we come to the UK, we'll be joined together just because of our treatment in the UK. That, okay, the way these people don't really like us, worth a darn. So we're going to be joined together. That's why I call myself a Black Brit. And in navigating as a Black Brit in Great Britain, we take inspiration from you Black Americans. That's basically like the long and short of it. It's like we look at what you guys are doing. How do you guys handle business? And we think, okay, that's where we're going to get our inspiration from. That's basically the long and short of things. I don't want to, because I don't want to laugh at people, but yeah, it's just the way he was there lambasting me. It was just like, oh dear, like I'm trying to like call myself people. When I say I'm a Black Brit, I'm not trying to win acceptance. Yeah.
I've got to ask you though, does his rhetoric come off even more bombastic when you hear me give you the background on him? I mean, he's born and raised in Nigeria. His daddy came to our country to be educated at one of our HBCUs. He worked for a French oil company, working to actively exploit his country's resources on behalf of the
Literally.
colonizer. And then he marries his Dutch white boss at work and has babies with her. Oh, Lord.
And you know what the worst thing is? You know what the worst thing is? That the oil is where I'm from. Where I'm at is where the oil is. So they'll take the oil, they'll pollute the waterway, so then we can't even go fishing and stuff like that. So it's like, so when it's exploiting us, it's actually affecting my tribe. I know tribalism wouldn't mean anything to you Americans, but it's affecting my group more so than it affects his. So he's probably would have gotten the bag from us getting completely twatted over. So it's just, I mean, he was getting. I mean, he might have his own opinions of views. I just don't share them because, like I said, being born and raised in this country and dealing with what I had to deal with in this country, how I get inspiration is by looking up to you, looking up to people like you or Tariq Nasheed. That how Tariq Nasheed he's a self-made man and he talks with a real steel in his spine when speaking, especially speaking to the opposition, not necessarily just the Africans, but also speaking with the white supremacists. I mean, it's absolutely admirable. So, of course, those of us in the UK were going to take inspiration from that. And we were totally gutted when they banned him from coming here in the last minute, which was just totally, although it was absolutely unbecoming of a country, but it's very something that we expect from Great Britain. It's typical of them. But yeah, I'm going to land my plane there and then.
For sure, for sure. Well, I'm going to drop you down again for a minute. We've got Derek Smith calling back in. Derek Smith, can you hear me okay? Oh, we still got your microphone muted. I'm sure we can get it sorted out. I'm not going to kick you. I'm just going to drop you backstage. Oh, wait, nope. You got it unmuted now. Say something. Okay, so you're unmuted. I just can't hear you. Let's see. There's nothing I can do on my end. Yeah, Derek, I don't know what's going on. I know we've tried several times here already. But again, big shout out to all the sponsors of the stream. Actually, right now, what I'm working on doing is buying some additional streaming software where people won't have to click the StreamYard link. They can just like call in on their cell phones and we can just do like a call in show that way. So, huge shout out to everybody contributing to the platform because you guys are going to help me get this phone line system set up for the live streams. With that said, there was a super sticker I missed earlier. Mike T, thank you so much for the contribution, brother. Let me go ahead and drop a bomb for you. And we've got Derek back. Can you say something, Derek? Still don't hear anything on your end. It's all good. It's all good. I'm sure I'll have that phone system set up by the time we do the next stream like this. We've got Chuck is back. Chuck wants to ask a question. Go ahead, Chuck Wu.
Yeah, salute. I just had one question to ask. Now, to the Africans who immigrate to the West, be it the UK or America, in 2 or 3 generations, do you think that they'll be indistinguishable from the Western population, or do you think you'll still be able to delineate them easily? It's like, take my personal instance. Like, my mother is a Black American, my father's Nigerian. I'm already fully integrated into American society. Now, my children will also be integrated.
I don't know how integrated you are with a name like Chukwu Igwawe, but I digress.
Yeah, but my point is, to the untrained eye, to a person walking around, I'm indistinguishable from a Black American. There's no way to know that I'm not a Black American unless you ask me my name or look at my driver's license.
And
So,
that's why we're delineating. Yep.
but okay, so there are more than 1 million Africans in America who are in my position. That we are fully American citizens, and we will have children here. We'll open up business here, and our descendants will be here in America. So, do you think the delineation is going to delineate people who are here? Let's say in the next 100 years, are you going to be able to delineate my descendants from your descendants?
That was a mouthful. Let me try to wrap my brain around what you're asking. Basically, what I'm gathering is this is similar to, let's say there was a Black American. Let's say there was a Black American who really had identity issues, and he really, really, really didn't want to be a Black American. Instead, he wanted to be viewed as a white American. So, he goes out of his way to date a white woman and have kids with her. So now his kids are, kind of light skinned. And then he instructs his children to also have babies with white people so that their kids are even more light skinned. And he keeps on doing this until 100 years down the road, his great, 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 great grandchildren can pass for white and be indistinguishable from white people. That's basically what you're talking about, Chuck. You basically have some fantasy of, oh well, since earlier the chat said that I'm not FBA or whatever. Well, if I get an FBA and I keep producing them, well, one day 100 years down the road we be FBA too, sir. It's a lineage-based claim. It doesn't work that way.
No, no, no. You're misunderstanding. I'm not trying to engraft myself into FBA. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that my wife is Yoruba. I'm Igbo. We're both born in Nigeria. So what I'm saying is our children are going to be raised here in America, and they're going to have American accents. They're going to, when they go to Nigeria, people are going to look at them the way that my family in Nigeria looks at me, like I'm not authentically Nigerian, even though I know where my village is. But my point is, how are you going to, they're going to go to school, they're going to vote, they're going to own property with all the rights and privileges of Black Americans. So when you say delineate, is this just for the purposes of who gets reparations, or is this for some kind of cultural separation of, us, them, that, is
It's
more than just...
both. It's both.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah. Any other questions?
No, that's it.
All right. And we've got Derek trying to call back in again. God damn it, yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. Oh man, it's interesting that the second time Chuck called back in is to see if 100 years down the road his people can can claim FBA or be indistinguishable from us, y'all. Oh Lord, oh Lord. Hey, they are showing their hand, y'all. This is the plan. They want to migrate over here, thinking that 20, 40, 60, 80 years down the road they'll be indistinguishable from us. Come on, y'all, make it make sense. Derek, if you are saying something, I still can't hear you, unfortunately. But I'm going to go ahead and bring Millie up. Millie, what do you think about the last caller? I mean, you heard the first time he called in, and he was kind of real shady about his background, and he's really trying to claim he's Black American, even because for some reason being a Nigerian Igbo American wasn't enough for him. Now he's hypothesizing on whether or not 100 years down the road his descendants will be indistinguishable from us. I mean, there's very strange things to ponder in my mind. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, my initial reaction was completely dismiss it and say that it's based on lineage. Like, if you came here, if your ancestors were brought here as during slavery, then that's what automatically qualifies you for reparations. But it made me think, maybe that could be the plan of the enemy, is to wait about 40, 50 years now and wait until Black Americans are fully immersed, Africans are fully immersed in Black American society before they start handing out reparations, knowing that the Africans won't have an axe to grind with America. Because the sad story is that a lot of us Africans don't really have as hard an axe to grind with America as because.
And real quick, I'm sorry, I got to cut you off. I just want to read this real quick. Mama Deb hit it on the head. Chuck Fool is already looking for a way to beat our delineation system, y'all. Peep game, FBA family. We are in the process of delineating. Delineating is still under construction, and they're already trying to hypothesize ways to beat our system of delineating. Oh, Lord, this is strange. Go ahead, Millie.
Yeah, I think with Africans, our main gripe is with our European colonizers and not with Americans. So we won't have the same sort of aggression. I'm not the same sort of gripe with America as we would with our European colonizers. But going back to it, I think it does make me wonder that maybe it's just a plan to wait about 40, 50 years until Africans are fully immersed into Black American society. So then they'll give the reparations, and then knowing that how the Africans are just going to give the money straight back. Their mind's not going to be rooted. Because right now, with you lot, I think they know that if they give reparations to all of you, there'll at least be at least 10% of you who will know what to do with it and will use it constructively and build form institutions so that Black people in general wouldn't need to depend on America for anything. And not only that, but it would also inspire people in the diaspora like myself. I'd say, okay, is this a new Black American corporation? I'm going to see if I can immigrate to America and relocate and seek my fortunes there. So I think that's what the enemies are actually afraid of. So I guess they just want to wait a little bit longer until I think something drastically happens, like let's say another outsider becomes fully immersed into Black American society. So then that way, when they give the reparations, because they know they're going to have to give it, there's no legit cause against it. I mean, goodness me, they haven't really got legit cause. They're going to have to give it eventually. They just want to give it at a time when it's gonna be absolutely. They know they're going to get the money back. I mean, that's what people always talk about. Like usually when Tethers or Coons talk about it, they always say, oh, if you give them reparations, they're just going to give the money straight back to us. I mean, there might be a few, but I think there's still enough that someone like you or Terry Nasheed got that money, you'd be able to formulate something or Umar Johnson be able to build something that's quite that's beneficial for Black Americans and Black people as a whole. So I totally
agree. I totally agree. And real quick, we do have Ola who's called back in.
Oh gosh.
Maybe Ola wants to say it with his chest this time. Unmute yourself, Ola, and let Millie know what your issue with him is exactly.
Yeah, please do.
This guy. I'm not insulting all Black Americans. I have good Black American friends. My uncle have children with Black American women. I'm not sure those are. I've been to North Carolina, Charlotte. I have friends in those territories, Western Slimes. So I'm not insulted. Your FBA, this court of a thing.
Boy, stop pussyfooting. Before Millie was on the stage, you was calling him Tethers this and Tethers that. Keep that same energy.
No, it's a brother. I mean, it's a brother. We will say it's in Nigeria. Look, there's nothing like white supremacists.
Oh dear.
Those are white supremacists. Don't say white supremacists. They are.
Millie, did he just say there's no such thing as white supremacists?
Yeah, I think he did say that.
And this is the same man married to his Dutch white wife that was his boss at work at the French oil company. Okay.
UFBA are the white supremacists. UFBA.
Oh gosh.
UFBA are the worst white supremacists on this YouTube. I hope this is not the real life. That's why people come here and spend nonsense in this place. You know, you are African enemies, not even the white people. People are far worse than white supremacists.
Oh gosh.
You understand me? Bro, I understand you're born alone. Why do you copy? You're not my bro, man, because you'll be copied towards this American, man. Look, in my head, this NBA court, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. There's everything that batch Africans in this YouTube.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he just said that foundational Black Americans are the true white supremacists and that racism and white supremacy does not exist. Let's just take a little look at his country of Nigeria present day.
To what extent is Nigerian politics impacted by its colonial history? Let's try and find out.
Hey bro, since we're talking about colonization, isn't your shirt cultural appropriation?
Listen, bro, I'm Egyptian. I could be head of the African Union. You know what I mean? The British were a major player in the story of Nigeria's colonization, and they took it over slowly. British trade with local tribes began in the 17th century. They traded palm oil, palm kernels, and slaves. Millions of slaves were shipped out of Lagos, the largest port city in the country, with 3.5 million slaves shipped from Nigeria to America.
There's no such thing as white supremacy. Foundational Black Americans are the true white supremacists, he says, as he lives in Nigeria, married to a Dutch white woman.
During the transatlantic slave trade. But the abolition of slavery in 1807 changed things. To expand business interests, the Brits began military campaigns inland, defeating the Sokoto Caliphate, the Yebu Kingdom, the Edo Empire, and the people of Igbo.
And yes, we got a white boy claiming to be Egyptian up here telling the history of Nigeria. That's how damn bad they are present day.
They officially took control of what is roughly modern Nigeria in 1885 and divided the land into a northern and southern protectorate, which had a profound impact on life and society in the region.
So what now, bro?
What now? Now it's time to divide and conquer, sire. The North and the South had two very distinct trajectories. The British took a more active role in the development of the South, which had ports, fertile farmlands, recently discovered lucrative oil fields. The Protectorate covered regions traditionally held by the Igbo and Yoruba people. Colonial officers in the region built medical and police departments and invested in a European education for the locals, as well as infrastructures such as roads and railways. Their investment reflected the empire's ambitions to make the South key to British economic.
It's 2024 and we got a Nigerian saying white supremacy doesn't exist. We foundationals are the true white supremacists. Lord, Ola, did you even know that this happened to your homeland, Ola? You've muted yourself, Ola. Unmute yourself. Did you even know that this happened to your homeland?
Oh no. You see, your history is always been twisted in a way. The way you twist Africans in American.
Ola, did the British Protectorate divide your country into a North and the South? Yes or no? Yes or no?
You bring it in that the British did take nothing away from my tribal land. The British.
This mushmouth just said the British took away nothing from his tribal land. Let's see exactly what they took away.
Interests. The region had also been receptive to Christian missionaries, with Igbo people in particular converting in large numbers.
Whoa, didn't he say it was Igbo? Are you a Christian, Ola? Ola, are you a Christian?
No. Oh. No, I believe in humanity.
Oh Lord, that's the same answer you gave us when we asked what common issue you had with your Dutch wife.
I believe there's something powerful, but not on religious base.
Okay. Well, Ola, you have the floor. Continue to educate us on how we are the white
Oh,
supremacists.
no, yeah, because you are the white supremacists. Because you put behavior on bashing. Look, Tarek Rashid was talking about he is African, he is this, he is that. We Africans, out of the blue, when this so-called money you are fighting for, which Africa have nothing to even do with it. Africans are not even united to come and say, "Oh, don't pay them this money." Africans don't even have the power. Africans are united; they don't care about what they owe you people. If you want people to claim it, claim it. They don't even have the power. It's between you people and the white Americans, or the British, that colonized you people in the United States. You understand? So why must you have to?
Ola, you're babbling. I'm trying to understand why you made the asinine statement that foundational Black Americans are white supremacists. Explain that, Ola. Stay on track.
Because people are always racist against Africans. You people are
And how are we racist against Africans?
I insulted them, and most of your guys,
And give me an example of how we have insulted Africans.
Have you ever seen a video clip on YouTube whereby most of your dirty guys are always saying Africans are monkeys?
I couldn't understand a word you just said, Ola.
I said most of your dusty ass Negroes.
And you know what? I think Mo Hotkins wanted to hop in. Go ahead, Mo.
Yes, I'm prepared to eviscerate this claim of white supremacy from the Black Americans. First of all, Black Americans have never targeted another ethnic group for any mass scale of violence. Can I draw history back to the Biafran War, where Nigerian officers purposely blockaded the Igbo people in Biafra, and millions of elderly children and women were starved to death. In fact, this was the original form of what they call poverty porn, where Time magazine and for 5 cents you can feed a kid a day. This happened because the Nigerian government took American weapons that we gave them to protect their government, and they committed genocidal acts against Biafrans, Black people. This is acts of white supremacy. We have never targeted any other group for any type of ethnocide or genocide or anything like this. A few words or videos he may have seen of somebody making jokes is not actions of racism. I tell you right now, we went through racism. Black Americans are not outside making life uncomfortable for Africans. They are able to come to our institutions such as the HBCU that he says his father went to and gained an education. There is no systemic racism towards Africans by Black Americans. In fact, we have did the exact opposite and have fought for these people. For him to claim that Black Americans, foundational Black American descendants of slavery, are proprietors or propagators of white supremacy is fallacy. It's an absolute insult to our very existence and the fact that we have fought white supremacy. I ask him, what tribe is he from that the whites didn't take none of his tribal land? You worked with the Europeans. You helped white supremacy.
You know what? Let's see if he'll answer that question. Ola, what tribe are you from?
Why do you want to know my tribe? I'm in Nigeria. Why do you want to know my
Why are you so insecure? What tribe are you from? Proud Nigerian man. What tribe are you from?
Why must I tell you my tribe? You know, why you're not an African?
So this the same one claiming we're the white supremacists, and he's too buck broken, too insecure to let us know what tribe he is from.
It is because he's aware that he's in the room with someone who is educated on his history. You cannot just use false propaganda, false media images of the Black American brought to you by our white counterparts and paint us. I will tell the complete truth about you, about who the Nigerian is, what their history is. I am well aware of the
of the Boko Haram, even to this day, even what's going on in the north. You will not, there has never been Black Americans who have went and kidnapped hundreds of women, hundreds of schoolgirls in one day. No, we do not have an instance anything near the Chibok girls. So for you to try to compare any type of atrocity to what you have done, the Nigerian has done to his
Wait,
own
Mo,
people.
I got you, Mo. I got you. A few days ago when Ola called in, he said that Nigeria isn't poor. His people aren't poor because the president of Nigeria is from his tribe. So let me see what tribe the president of Nigeria
Fulani.
is from.
He's the Fulani. His president is Muhammad Buhari. He's a Fulani. He's
And
a
Ola
Fulani.
is a Fulani Nigerian man, aren't you, Ola? You're Fulani?
No, I'm not an Hausa Fulani guy.
His president has been investigated for being a drug kingpin during his time in America, and this is the reason why his president had to leave the office the first time. Is this correct?
Hold on, man. Let me. You see, you try to put a whole thing out. I try to catch you up. Let me tell you this: this FBA, not Black American, because I cannot generalize everybody.
There are no differences. You do not. No, don't generalize. This is the Black Americans are FBA, American descendants.
Hold on. My cousins are not FBA.
Excuse me.
My cousins are not FBA.
Your cousins are Nigerian.
My cousins are not. Their mother is Black American.
Which she is a foundational Black American descendant of slavery. We've been called many things, colored, Negro, many things we've been called. We've been labeled many things, but we know who we are.
100%. The father all served United States military. The grandfather also a military man. So my cousins are not FBA.
They are American descendants of slavery, then they are foundational Black Americans. This is not a group. This is not some organization or some political caucus. This is a lineage. This is an ethnic group. Right? Black American, foundational Black American descendants of slavery.
It's a court group that you try to
And real quick, a little bit of housekeeping, guys. If you're new to the broadcast, smash that like button. Likes are free after all. I gotta end the stream and I gotta get on to doing some other work unless we get the likes up and or get some contributions flowing. I know somebody out there can put 5 on it. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. If you have been educated or informed in any way, go ahead and hit that like button or drop a 5 on the Cash App or the PayPal, and I will keep this show going for you. Right now, we got Mo giving Ola a much needed history lesson in his own country's background, but Ola lives in Nigeria, so Ola should know all this. Ola, is it really true that you don't know any of this history, or do you know it and you're still trying to shit on us when you come from such a ass backwards country? Which one is it, Ola?
No, there's no difference between your backwardness and the backward is trying to project. You're backward as we're saying this shit right now. What you're talking about is not teaching me no shit. You understand? Your court have been bashing Africa for a very long time. What have Africa done to you people?
I think that you are generalizing, sir, and that you are making it about something that it's not about. Okay, you called us white supremacists. This very trope is something that we fought against. How can you call those who fight against white supremacy the white supremacists? First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe someone called you an African booty scratcher or something. This is very minuscule and insignificant. What do you mean we bash Africans? What are you talking about? Bashing Africans? This is insignificant to what you need to be doing, which is honestly confronting your president and asking him to rid your country of white supremacy. As your tribe, since you're Fulani, yes.
I'm not. Don't give me a tribe that is not. I'm not Fulani. Don't give me that tribe.
Then tell us the name of your tribe. Tell us your tribal name right now.
Let me go down this road because Black America never say what.
Ola, what tribe are you from?
Tell me your tribe. You're Black America, right? You're FBA.
Ola, what tribe are you from?
I'm in Nigeria.
And you Nigerians are tribal as fuck, so don't try to pull that I'm Nigerian with me. What tribe are you from?
I'm in Nigeria. I'm not tribalist. Tell me your.
You're a Nigerian married to your white Dutch boss at the oil company. Hola, you are buck broken beyond belief. I bet you your
When you
Dutch
say
wife, I bet you your Dutch wife knows what tribe you from, boy.
that's exactly correct, and when he says that we are bashing Africans, understand that Black Americans have no epithet for those who come from Africa. We may have a few jokes, but we have no N word for you. But your people here, your people in Nigeria, they labeled us Akata. What is this? So the descendants of those who sold us into slaves named us Akata. The descendants of those who enslaved us in America named us nigger. I say, what is the difference? I ask you, what is the difference?
Hold on. If you encounter a few Nigerians, maybe you could have crossed hell altogether.
Hola, this is the point where you answer
Hold
or
on,
you
hold on, hold on.
leave. You're going to tell us what tribe you're from right now, or you're going to leave the show never to return. Name the tribe you are a part of.
My brother, I'll be happy not to return to your show anymore.
Okay, goodbye. Have a good one, Ola. Insecure ass tether baby can't even tell us what y'all ask me what tribe I'm from. Muskegee Creek Nation takes less than a second. FBA all day. But goddamn it, we got a Nigerian preaching Nigerian superiority, but he's too insecure to tell us what tribe he's from as he's in bed with his Dutch wife. Oh Lord, oh Lord. What do
This
you have to
is
say about that, Mo?
It's unfortunate. It's exactly what I expected. Anytime these Africans are confronted with someone who has studied them, who knows their history, at least their brief history, because Africa is not hard to study. Most of their countries gained freedom or independence, as they call it, and sometime in 1950 or 60. We have a lot more history to study in terms of a nation than any African country for the most part. So this is what I expected. As what I get from them most of the time. They will throw out the tropes that the white supremacist media has gave them, the imagery, the criminal. They will throw out their tropes. But when you confront them with their actual history, and you try to they try to, oh, the black, y'all just kill each other. But when we confront them with their genocidal acts actually against their own countrymen, they tend to become scarce and afraid to respond and dismissive.
Above all else, they really don't want us to know where they from.
Where are you from? Like, who cares where I'm from? Just sell me this thing and let me keep going.
And then when you told them that you're African, they be like, what country?
Yeah, they
Yeah, we want to know what country, what tribe, and all that.
It's because there's a shame to some of their countries, like many people from Liberia when they were coming here and uh, they were refugees. A lot of them didn't want to say they were from Liberia. A lot of people who come from the East Congo don't want to tell you that they come from East Congo. Like I told you, I went to Rwanda, and during that time, of course, I spent most of my time in the capital city, Kigali. But I went to Byumba, which is where my friend was from, which is a refugee camp, and I saw how they lived. You know, this is not something we can't imagine the the struggle they go through. So me, I don't have any uh any actual angst in my heart to those who are actually suffering because of the tribes, like the guy who just spoke, the Fulani tribes and the way that they manage.
Real quick, Bridget, I'm just now seeing your super sticker. Thank you so much for the contribution. Let me drop a bomb. And goddamn it, we ain't done. Y'all better get the likes up, or somebody better hit the Cash App or the PayPal, or we gotta wrap up the stream, y'all. I just had an epiphany. I just realized I ain't even smoked my weed yet today, y'all. I ain't even have my morning joint. I came straight from waking up to streaming this for y'all. Y'all could come on, somebody hit the Cash App or the PayPal, or at least get the likes up to 200. We got over 200 people watching. I need my ganja. I need my ganja. And Mo, real quick, Mo, I'm gonna drop you down for just a moment and then bring you back. We got Derek Smith calling back in again, and I think he got the audio issue sorted out this time. Derek, how you doing?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me, Mike?
Hey, let me drop a bomb for Derek. It took a minute. It took a minute, but we here. Let's go.
My janky Android phone, that's all. So I had to go to the Mac. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So I think, for platforms like this and lives like this to get it out there that we have people amongst us that's trying to divert or come in between our claim for reparations is good, but really we need to start educating people to know how to put these politicians under pressure and to get these bills passed locally, on state level, and federally. So if this is cool, you know, sometimes it's entertainment and all that good stuff, but there's not a lot of people out there at the city hall meetings, at the state house, or even putting pressure on their representatives or state or their senators. You know what I mean? So that's where we really got to put the same energy at, or calling out these tethers, calling out Pan-Africanism and all of that jazz. You know what I'm talking about? Because when we go to these meetings, because I'm in Boston. So when we go to these meetings, it's all Caribbean, Africans, and Pan-Africanisms that's trying to dilute our reparations claim.
It's all tethers, Sambones, and coons, basically, right?
But the thing is, the foreigners outnumber our coons. So, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, and most of them are the baby boomers. You know what I'm talking about? We got a few, you know, Reggie from Boston, ADOS folks, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's with the Pan-Africanism low key. You know what I'm saying? So, but for the most part, we got to get out, like where Black Alpha's out there with brother Marcel in Colombia on Martin Luther King's birthday. We got to be out there, like supporting that movement. That's a political movement to put pressure on those politicians that's going to be down there and be like, hey, yo, we need a bill. That HR bill is all Pan-Africanism. That's for everybody. So we need a new bill.
Facts. Oh, and we got Rajan in the chat says, why are you guys hating on Africans? Rajan, this is the way this show works. When you have a question, when you have a comment, you are instructed to click the link and call in. So Rajan, there's a StreamYard link here, just a few comments above yours. Click the link and call in, and we can answer your question. But if you just stay in the chat trolling, then we'll just revoke your chat privileges. But yeah, Derek, I totally agree. I personally have never participated in national politics, never voted for a single president. And the reason for that is because I kind of got my career experience very early. Even as early as 16 years old, I was working on Senator Omnibara's campaign. I was working for different political think tanks and research firms, and I witnessed firsthand the mindfuckery that goes on at a national level. And that if you really want to impact anything, you impact it with your dollars, not your vote, because your dollars is what really sways the votes of hundreds of thousands of millions of other people. So when it comes to local politics, I've always participated, but national, you can miss me with that shit. And I think a lot of us also do stay on the sidelines when necessarily I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but by staying on the sidelines, we do give the tethers and the immigrant class room to fill spaces that should be filled by us. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe in what Tariq Nasheed says when he says, I don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Whoever's talking about cutting the check, whoever's talking about tangibles is who we need to be going after. So until I hear a politician on the national level put together some kind of reparations package, I mean, I'll keep my votes local.
Okay, right, that's true. And then locally, like in Evanston and Providence, Rhode Island, all the tethers, all the Caribbeans, all the Africans are getting bills paid. I mean, getting bills created to include them in reparations. So again, and locally, I understand federally too. We got Representative Presley, who's with the squad and all that, including Ethiopians and Somalis in her staff, and none of us are there. You know what I mean? So, but I totally get it. But there won't be none politicians mentioning reparations without, like you said, Tariq said, there's going to be a big nothing burger, or it's going to be it's going to be a switch and bait type thing if they do mention it.
The black vote has always been powerful. So whenever black voters realize that they're being hoodwinked by the Democratic Party, and when they abstain from giving them their votes, well, now people have to start talking tangibles. So, I mean, it's no other way. And actually, real quick, we had somebody backstage whose name was Angry African. Whoever's name was Angry African, call back in. I was going to bring you up next. Shout out to the Angry African. Go ahead and hit that link one more time. But yeah, Derek, go ahead, brother.
Right. That is true. We definitely need to get the money behind certain people and withhold our vote, and and deal with the smoke with the bootleg saying that we are Trumpers because we don't want to vote for these Democrats. So, But then again, we got to get out there and support brothers like Marcel, or raise or create politicians like Dr. Anderson said, that have our best interests, that will advocate for us. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, I'm gonna be short-winded, and I just want to say happy birthday to a real tether like Colin Ferguson and tethers from Nigeria, Michael Adewale, who was putting in work in England, cutting off British soldiers' heads. I mean, I know, I'm sorry if I had to say that, but there are tethers out there putting in work. You know what I mean? So, all right, you guys have a good day.
Thanks for calling in, Derek. Appreciate you. Next up, we've got Rajan. Rajan, were you the one whose name was Angry African earlier? Rajan, are you there? All right, Rajan's Wi-Fi isn't Wi-Fi. We've got Idris coming from the back to the front. Hey, Idris, how you doing? Nope, you're on mute, Idris. Idris might be AFK. Oh, are you
No,
there?
I'm not. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. And I know I'm familiar with you, but for people who aren't familiar with you, let the people know where you're calling in from and where your people are from.
Yes, I'm from the United Kingdom of Great Britain, London, and my parents and my forebearers are from Somalia originally.
Nice. Well, go ahead and let us know what you think about the topic at hand.
Yeah, Ola was giving me serious stress, as you know, and basically I just wanted to weigh in and say that previously I've had arguments and I've had serious verbal spats with people with his sort of mindset. And their point was, look, these foundational Black Americans, they use, similar white supremacist talking points in order to attack us. And so my strategy was, okay, why don't I just get this individual to briefly go through the timeline of Black American history and emphasize the part about where Black Americans were, putting out their arms towards, every other ethnic group. And then and what I did is I showed that individual, look, we, the immigrant community, kicked them in the teeth essentially, and we started looking down on them. We threw them under the bus in order to get in with the white supremacist structure. And as a result of this, the foundational Black America have naturally had to turn on us and go their own way. So now when I developed that type of strategy, this generally, I'm able to win some of them over, and I'm able to get them to stop tethering. And essentially, people like me and the other guy that was raised in the UK, we generally understand, the trials and tribulations of Black America, because we go through similar trials over here, whereas the others in like Somalia, the Africa, don't quite understand what it's like to live as an ethnic minority in the belly of the beast, the colonial beast. So, some can be reached, and others, obviously, I think Ola might be beyond reach.
I hear you. I hear you, and I definitely feel where you're coming from. What do you think about Ola's remarks that foundational Black Americans are the true white supremacists?
No, I completely disagree with this, because they're the biggest victim of white supremacy due to slavery, due to Jim Crow, and as a result of being, how should I say, living through further discrimination. I mean, perhaps he's trying to say that Black foundational Americans don't speak any other language except English and generally have an Anglified culture. Maybe he's trying to say that. I don't know what he's trying to get at, but it's just completely and absolutely false. I mean, it defies common sense. It defies reality in every step of in every sense of the word. It's not true. You're not the biggest white supremacist. You're not white supremacist at all. You're, people who are patriotically for foundational Black America, and you're people who are doing everything that you can to get tangibles for your community. So I really don't understand. I mean, he might have, bumped into the likes of, say, Candace Owens or Jesse Lee Peterson or Tommy Sowell or Tommy Sotomayor and thought, oh, look at those people. They're the biggest white supremacists. Well, they're just the C word. I mean, I don't know how he could make that conclusion. There's something wrong there.
Very interesting perspective. I feel you. And real quick, Idris, I'm going to drop you down for just a moment and see if Rajan has their microphone connected now. Rajan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you the whole time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Earlier when I
Okay,
had you on the
bet.
stage, I was asking you, are you the one whose name was originally Angry
Yeah, that's
African?
me. That's me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, for sure. Well, start by letting us know what country do you live in and where are your people from?
I'm from Ghana, West Africa, but I was born in America. Born and raised in America.
Okay, sounds good. Well, go ahead and weigh in on the topic at hand.
Yeah, so I mean, I actually just watched one of your videos. Actually, the Jubilee that you guys just made.
Oh,
Like,
and you know what? I'm so sorry. I got to mute you. Don't mean to interrupt you. As a host of a show, whenever we have contributions come through, I have to acknowledge them and drop the bomb. Derek Smith, thank you so much for the contribution, brother. I appreciate the Cash App. And beyond the contribution, I'm so grateful that we finally got the audio issues sorted out because I really wanted to hear from you, and it was well worth the wait. So make sure to hit that StreamYard link whenever you want to call in and chop it up. Appreciate you. All right, go ahead, Angry African. I'm sorry. You were saying that you were watching the Jubilee reaction video I was doing?
yeah, and that's completely fine. Like, of course, you gotta respect the fans, most definitely. But yeah, I was just watching the Jubilee episode, and like, even like, so the title of this and the title of that are basically the same, and I just don't understand why there's even like, I don't, why are you guys like pitting them against each other? Like, Africans are never against African Americans ever, but I will say there is an inordinate amount of racism from African Americans to Africans, and I think that's just crazy.
Pause you. All right, I've got to pause you. You're up here saying that Africans are never racist against Black Americans ever, but that Black Americans are racist towards Africans. Obviously, you're new to the program because I can simply run the receipts and play a Twitter space that is exclusively African, where these Africans are talking about selling us Black Americans to the Iranians to extract things from our nervous system. So I don't know why you thought that I was the one to call into and try to pull some bullshit off in front. You really got the nerve to say that Africans are never racist towards us? Well, listen to this.
Right. 3 out of 4 Black people. There's a new study that came on University of Utah, and also and University of Stanford, the Hoover Institute. 3 out of 4 Black people have mercury in their blood. 2 out of 6 Black people have uranium. You can actually use Black people to create nuclear energy. So when people say that Black people are bad, yes, they're bad, but there's a positive. You know what I mean? Also, it's not. I'm not talking about killing them. You can extract the uranium and the mercury from their blood without killing them. Also from this lymphatic, what do you call it, nervous system, and also the parasympathetic nervous system. Right. So these people have power to actually produce nuclear energy.
Professor Henry, I didn't mean
yeah,
to interrupt you, brother, but if that's the case, is it economically viable to extract these minerals from their blood, from their
yes,
bodies?
I believe you should sell Black people to Iran. Currently,
Is this one of the why they were enslaved?
Yes. No. The reason why
Possibly
they're
to harvest.
labor is because of hard labor. But right now, Iran is actually buying Black people, and they're also using what we call nuclear energy. So it's a great source in the black market. But
how can we sell them? Are we supposed to refinance these people? Are we supposed to refinance them and have Iran pay monthly payments for these Black people that we're selling?
Basically tell the Negroes that you will donate to one of these stupid causes, right? And you extract their blood off that, and then you'll donate it to Iran. But I'm done talking. So you guys can.
But what if we want to make this into a sustainable economic? If it's supposed to be sustainable, in order to be economically viable, there should be a way to them. So should they be also breeded in groups?
Yeah, if you talk
Like,
about
I
the
need to
plan,
understand.
I call the plan the Great Economic Reset. I will not talk about it on this app. It's high level and plan to
All
carry
right,
out.
we have that conversation time, but I believe that you're onto something, and I actually honestly heard this, not too while ago. It's no wonder a lot of black people be supposedly tricked to move to Iran, relocate to Iran from the United States. I've seen a lot of black families and black babies, moving to Iran. It makes sense. They're probably the Iranians, those motherfuckers, they be doing some crazy shit, man.
All right, so we've got Africans talking about not just selling us to the Iranians to harvest us for uranium, but also talking about breeding us in the process because it would be quote unquote more economically viable. They're even deliberating over how they should finance us. So, Angry African, what are you talking about again?
I'm gonna say this. There's a lot of evil and reasonable people in the world. This is definitely an example of something that's evil and unreasonable. Just
Is it racist? Yes or no?
is that specific racist? Yeah, you could say that.
So if I just played videographic evidence of Africans being racist against foundational Black Americans, do you retract your earlier statement of Africans are never racist towards us, we're racist towards them? Do you retract your statement or do you stand by your statement?
I said it several times. I retract the statement that never, but I will say reasonable African people are not racist towards African American people.
What do you define as a reasonable African person?
So it's easier to define an unreasonable African person.
Well, I don't want you to take the easy way out, sir. You just said that reasonable African people don't speak or behave like that. So, what in your mind is a reasonable African person?
I mean, sure. I mean, I could explain it. It'll just take a little longer. If you have the time, that's fine. So, what I define as a reasonable African person is a person that's just trying to do his best for his family, do his best for his community, and just do his best for himself. This person that you showed in the clip is that's just an unreasonable human. Like, that's not a humane thing to do. He's evil.
So I don't understand why you came up here capping for all Africans, talking about they're never racist towards us when clearly they're extremely racist towards us.
Word. But I mean, I said I backtracked on that already. Like you went through that. I mean, I said you could pause it a long time ago, but I backtracked and I said just reasonable Africans.
Well, if you've backtracked and recanted your statements, then I guess we can move forward. What else do you have to say?
I mean, word. But I mean, if we're gonna say that, then you could say everyone that's a Mormon is racist. Like at that point, because it's like they're.
Did you just bring up Mormons? Did you just say Mormon?
The religion Mormonism.
Why are you bringing up the religion known as Mormonism? How does this have anything to do with the topic at hand?
It's kind of well, so I'll make it very quick. It comes if you.
Whenever you tether say I'm gonna make it really quick, you make it anything but quick. Why did you just bring up Mormons? What are you talking about now? Sir, I'm sorry. I'm here in Tether Babble. You know what clip we have to play whenever we start hearing some goddamn Tether Babble. And before we let the tether continue to babble, we've got a PayPal contribution from D. Sean Jones. God damn it, this is a hefty contribution, brother. I think a contribution like this deserves 5 bombs. Let me go ahead and give D. Sean Jones 5 bombs real quick. Appreciate you, brother. And everybody in the chat needs a big up Deshaun because it's due to him that we are now going into an encore. So thank you again, Deshaun Jones. Deshaun leaves a message. He says, keep putting your foot on these bitch ass people's necks. Will do, brother. Will do. It's up and it's stuck. But let's hear what the and actually, I'm so sorry. I don't know why Rajan first called in and their name was the Angry African, and then they left and came back in and changed their name to Rajan. Let me just go ahead and fix your name back to where it was originally, the Angry African. There we go. We've got it fixed now. Rajan, go ahead. You have the floor.
Cool. I mean, the only reason I switched is because this weird site keeps on. If you do anything on your phone, it logs you out, and it's just super annoying to just come in, change your name, put it's whatever. Yeah. This is a bit ridiculous. I wanted to refer to the fact that African Americans are constantly making insults on Africans, and it's really not the other way around. And you see this in a lot of media, like.
So this dumb motherfucker is still trying to talk about African Americans are racist towards Africans, and it's not the other way around. When I literally played a 2-minute clip of them talking about breeding and enslaving us to Iranians, sir, you've got to make more sense than this. You've got to make more sense. You literally have nicknames, Jareer, Akata, Yankee. What are you talking about? And yes, Black and Big for damn, that's a hell of a name. Black and Big. Hold up, pause, pause. I'm gonna just call you B. Yes, B. We are not African Americans. We are delineating. Sometimes I still use that term interchangeably because it's still used colloquially. But yes, we are foundationals. Angry African. What the fuck are you talking about? Can you give me an actual concrete example of a Black American being racist towards an African?
Sure. Do you know who Eddie Murphy is?
Everybody knows who Eddie Murphy is.
Perfect, amazing. Okay, so if you look at Eddie Murphy Raw, he made a lot of jokes about what you call a bush bitch. This was in terms of an African American woman.
Wait a fucking minute. Last time I checked, Eddie Murphy hasn't done stand-up comedy since like the 80s or the early 90s. Sir, what are you talking about, a 80s or 90s stand-up special that Eddie Murphy did?
I'm not sure if it makes you feel powerful just muting whenever somebody's talking.
It's my platform. I will mute you at will. Did you just quote a stand-up special by Eddie Murphy that was filmed in the 80s or 90s?
Hey man, you're right. This is your platform. You could do whatever you want. You could kick me.
That's a yes or no question, boy. Either yes or no. Either this is a recent stand-up special that Eddie Murphy has done, or this is a decades-old stand-up special that a comedian, mind you, a comedian is doing something called stand-up comedy, where he is telling jokes, and you just had to reach back to some jokes Eddie Murphy made in the 80s or the 90s to bolster your claim. What are you talking about?
You kind of talk a lot. What was your question?
Damn, now we don't remember. When was the stand-up special that you're quoting?
I was referring to Eddie Murphy Raw.
And
as
when
I
was
told
that?
you,
And when was that?
as I told you, I cannot do anything on my phone with this.
Oh God. So he's gonna quote something without even being able to accurately cite the source. Let me do the work for you, okay? Since you can't use your phone or whatever the fuck you're talking about. Eddie Murphy Raw stand up. 1987, ladies and gentlemen, 1987. This mushmouth tether baby just had to reach back to a joke that Eddie Murphy made in 1987 to somehow support his claim that Black Americans are racist towards Africans. We aren't even getting to the fact that this was clearly a joke Eddie made, but god damn it, he made it way back in 87. Oh Lord, go ahead and start dancing for us. I like the way you dance.
Are you done?
I said you can get to tap dancing now. Show us what you got.
Well, I mean, you could do whatever you want. Again, this is your platform. If you want to have an actual conversation, that's fine. If you just want to, censor people talking, then, that's up to you.
Are you actually going to say something now?
I mean, I'd like to go 20 seconds without you just muting me.
You literally are
Well,
unmuted.
I mean, again, it's your platform. You can do whatever you want.
Why?
But if that's
Now you're being muted because you're talking over me. Sir, I just gave you the floor. Say it with your chest. What do you have to get out so bad? Go ahead.
no, I mean, it's fine. Again, it's your platform. Do whatever you want. I just don't want to continue if I can't talk for 20 seconds without being muted.
This whole time you've been unmuted and you're still not saying shit. So do you actually want to say something now, or do you want to keep griping about, I know it's your platform and you know it's your platform. Sir, what do you have to
Shut the
say?
fuck up, dumb. Yo, just kick me off. You're a retard. Honestly, just kick me, ban me, please.
Kick yourself. You can click the red button. You're a big
Word,
boy. Click
word.
end, click X, and take your ass back to from which you came.
Oh, why don't you put me back, right? Just mute me. Mute me. Do whatever you have to do.
Damn, y'all. I finally give him the floor to speak uninterrupted, and he has nothing
Shut
to
the fuck
say.
up, dumbass.
He has absolutely nothing to say. He's still bitching and whining about being muted. Oh, Lord. Eddie Murphy really hurt his feelings back in '87, y'all. He was watching Eddie's stand-up special, and it really, really, really made him feel some type of way because now he's over here with Mike TV, whining like a little bitch. Oh my God. Are you gonna let me talk? Sir, you have the floor to talk. Okay, well, I'm gonna use this time to just rant about how I was muted earlier. Sir, what are you talking about? I said we like the way you dance. I was urging you to continue to tap dance for us. Can you please give us a little twist, a little twirl? Can you please give us a little shuck and jive? Dance for us, boy. I said I like the way you dance.
EBT and complaining about everybody else. Just get a job and do something with your life. Stop complaining about everybody else.
Was that it?
Do whatever you want.
All right. Well, this tether has some Stockholm syndrome, um, or something. I mean, apparently he's so attached.
You don't
He's
even
so
know what Stockholm
tethered to
syndrome is.
us. He's so tethered to us. He can't leave. He physically cannot leave. So I had to kick him out of here because the Stockholm syndrome was too strong, y'all. We're so racist to him. We hate him so bad, but he's over here talking to us. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. We got Vovo Rants in the building. Vovo, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Where are you calling in from and where are your people from?
Calling in from Cleveland, Ohio. My people from all over the South, mainly Georgia.
That's what's up. Well, brother, go ahead and weigh in and let us know what you think about the things you've seen and heard this evening.
Yeah, I've been in and out of the space. I was handling some business. I want to touch on the topic about how it's impossible to I think it was unify with the Africans.
Yeah. But basically, the title is Black Americans versus Africans. Africans make it impossible to unite.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It's that I believe that ship has sailed. I believe that was kind of naive of us to think that that they would get it, and like they don't have anything to fight for, especially not over here. So if we in the middle of a fight and these people ain't even got nothing to fight for, they not fighting for anything, then we can't unite with them. They're done fighting. Once they touch this land, it's over. They done with they fight. They fight was getting up out of their countries. Now that they're here, they not going to do anything to jeopardize uh them being here. They're not going to do anything to to make them get deported or anything like that. So they not going to fight with us. This is our personal fight. This is something that we got to do. And they not really fighters. I mean, if you look at it, I don't know how you get dominated in your own country when you live in a country where you walking over gold, oil, diamonds, like everything the world needs. How are you being dominated when you 95% of the population?
Hey, brother, it's the same
Yeah.
way how that Nigerian Ola called in earlier, and he's married to a Dutch white woman who used to be his boss. Out of all the fellow Nigerian sisters he could have been married to and had a baby, yeah, out of any suitable mate he could have found, he chose the Dutch woman. Yeah.
Yeah, they they look at white people as gods. So like how can you unify with that? Like like seriously, how can you unify with that? So like that's just something that we need to get off. I had this conversation a lot with some of my friends that still don't get it. You know what I mean? We got to get over the cosmetics of it. Looking at these people's phenotype and thinking that somehow they will get it. They will never get it. Never. An African will never truly understand the way that we do white supremacy. They will never understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that just came up here talking about
Well, you know
your
what?
job.
I think I know why as well. I think I know why. It's kind of similar to how there's this phenomenon where even though they're supposed to be like the bourgeoisie class and high in yellow and da 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 da, if you look throughout history, some of the biggest civil rights leaders, some of the biggest leaders within the movement of our struggle have been quote unquote light skins or mulattoes. And I think the reason why they go so hard is because they have a certain access to white supremacy that the rest don't. When you're actually invited into the house and invited to the cookout and you overhear what they're talking about when they're just amongst themselves, that gives you a whole different perspective. So, similarly, the Africans have been segregated on their own land. They really don't have much conversations or much dealings with white people unless it's them playing out a subservient role to them. So,
Right.
I think they really just get all their stuff from media, whereas we've actually dealt with the white folks. We've lived amongst the white folks. We see it firsthand. Meanwhile, the only time an African sees a white person is when some cute white TikTok chick wants to come to their village and start dancing with them for views. I mean,
Right.
they really don't have the access.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And they see white people as saviors. They look at going to live around white people as okay, I get to get out of my village. Now I can have running water. Now I can eat every day. You know what I mean? So is it really that bad? You know what I mean? So that's what that's how they view white people as a savior. So they will never get it. They will never ever get it. I believe that us delineating is the right move. It just is. We didn't understand these people. Now that we've had some experience with these people, we understand what they are. They will never ever get it. Never. So it's really a waste of time trying to unify with them. And then this my thing, right, brother? You can't really identify what's an African. What makes you African? Because there's a
Facts.
lot of Africans that don't live in Africa. So what if you don't live in Africa? What are you fighting for? What common struggle do we have? Like you know what I mean? Like if I'm making sense there, like what exactly is an African then?
Nah, you making sense. I mean, when most Africans are trying to flee the continent and go integrate into a European society, I mean, why should we be Pan-African with y'all when y'all don't even want to be African? Y'all rubbing on bleach and cake soap and shit, doing everything you can to cozy up next to whiteness, and we're more proud of our lineage than y'all are, and y'all live on the continent a lot of times. It's just really strange. It's just really, really strange.
It's extremely strange when you tell me that you come from this great culture, but if I look over there, I see y'all cosplaying us. What the hell is that? Like, show me what your Africanness means. Show me what your blackness means. If you claiming to be black, show me what it means to be black or African or whatever without cosplaying the Black American. They won't be able to show you. It's to the point now where they calling themselves niggas. Like they do everything. They mimic everything that we do, and then hate us at the same time. That's an extremely weird energy. You know what I'm saying? Like who cosplays their enemy? We've never seen that on planet Earth. We've never seen it in the history of planet Earth. We've never seen a group of people cosplay their enemy. You've never seen the Jewish people dressed like a Nazi. You've never seen a Nazi dressed like a Jewish person. You don't see the Palestinians dressing like Jewish people. and you don't see the Jewish people dressing like Palestinians. Like you never seen that before. These people are extremely weird about us, and they really don't have an identity without us. That's why they're begging us so hard not to delineate, and this is a mistake, and you guys are all African now. But just a few
And
years
real
ago,
quick, brother, real quick,
go ahead.
speaking of delineate, I urge everybody, if you can, to become a member of the channel. You can click the link that's on the stream to become, or excuse me, the screen to become a member of the channel, or you can go to my YouTube page, click join, and you'll see the membership options available. Even if you join at the lowest level, which is $4.99 a month, you still get access to very exclusive perks. For example, while we talk about delineating, I pulled up on the comedian Godfrey and I asked him, what do you think about foundational Black Americans delineating? And he gave a very interesting response. And that video is up right now for members only. I also have several other videos right now that are members only. I have a whole live stream where we did a deep dive into the Gambia crisis, where a lot of African men in Gambia are basically selling themselves into a form of sex slavery to British women that are old as fuck over there on vacation. So, there's a lot of exclusive benefits for members. And if you want to see that expose on the African men seeking their reparations by dating British grandmothers, then that would be another reason to become a member of the channel. Lastly, every Sunday, we're going to start doing members only live streams. Tomorrow is going to be the first members only live stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So not only do you get access to exclusive content, not only do you get access to a Sunday members only live stream, but you also get access to a private Discord server where you can call me, text me, send some links to me you think I should react to, and everything in between. So guys, I really urge you to become a member of the channel if you support the mission. And with that, I land my plane. Go ahead, Vovo.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't really want much. I just found your page, you know what I'm saying? So, I seen that you up on game, and I'm gonna check out some of your videos. I see you at FBA. So I just wanted to chime in. What I mean, I appreciate you
I'm
letting me
not an
speak.
FBA. I'm a Nigerian who just rubbed a lot of bleach on him. So okay, I just been using that cake soap since I was 3. That's what it is. That's how I got this brain. No,
I haven't seen. I don't know what you look like. I haven't seen you. Are you on the videos?
Oh yeah. So on the weekends when I do these streams, these are
Yeah.
the only live streams where I do just audio only, since during the week I'm producing so many live streams and I'm constantly on camera. This is kind of like a little bit of a break for me. But yeah, on the live streams that I do regularly throughout the week, I'm always cammed up. Look, I can go to a video right. Look, I just did a expose yesterday on Umar Johnson and the fake ass school and shit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I stay cammed up. Hey, if there's anybody talking this FBA shit on YouTube and they never show their faces, we got to see some paperwork or something. I mean, the math ain't mathing.
Man, yeah,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, this video don't even want to load. God damn it! If the video loads, then you'll be able to see me and all my light skinned freckleness. But God damn it,
Yeah,
the video don't even want to load for
Umar
me.
Johnson, I mean, like he, is
Yeah. Oh,
like
there I
this guy.
am. There I am. It's a little
Let
bit
me see.
blurry, but there I am.
Ron, you
Oh,
see
wait.
this?
It glitched out. It glitched out. It's moving. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, I
Let me
see
go
you.
back.
Oh, yeah, I've
Okay.
seen you before. I actually used to
Ron.
know.
Okay, yeah. Yes. So during the week when I do all my streams, I'm always on camera. It's just on the weekends when I do these streams, it's kind of like a little bit of a break for me. So I just do the audio or whatever. But yeah, I stay cammed up most
Are
of the
you
time.
on Twitter too?
Yeah, I just got a Twitter. I'll actually post my let me post my Twitter @handle or whatever in the comment section real quick. I literally just got on Twitter like last week. I've done a couple live streams on Twitter and been becoming more familiar with like the Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna post my Twitter handle in the chat right now.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah, I be on Twitter a lot. I'm not really on YouTube that much anymore. But
There
I
it
be.
is, y'all. If y'all want to find Mike TV on Twitter, it's Michael LAN 43386. That is the random Twitter tag they gave me. But yeah, you guys can find me over there.
For sure. For sure. Sure.
Yeah, but with that said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream here shortly. Go ahead and provide us some closing remarks.
Well, yeah. I was just, I just wanted to just touch on the topic. We'll never be able to unify with them, y'all. Like they got to. It's too many moving parts with that. Like what would unity look like? That would have to be the first thing. Over there, they speaking 2,000 languages, literally with all the different languages and dialects. It's literally 2,000 different languages. It's different cultures. It's
Mm-hmm.
some people on the African continent that don't even identify with being African. You know what I mean? So you don't even know what you're getting into. So that's a thing of the past. That's it's good in theory to think that, but if we got to really look at the reality of it, they can't even unify themselves. And if they truly want to unify, they don't need us. Show us how it's done. Lead by example. That's what I say. Lead by example. If we saying that we are delineating and y'all saying no, it's about unity. Y'all don't need us. Y'all could just show us how it's done.
Where's the African Union? Where's the Wakanda? Where is it, y'all? It doesn't exist. Pan-Africanism has been totally one-sided, and it has finally been killed by Africans.
Talk about it for sure. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you letting me come on your platform and voice my opinion. I'm gonna catch up with you on Twitter and everything, and I'm gonna stay connected.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for calling in, brother. B1. And we've got Mo, who's been hanging out backstage. I'm gonna let Mo come up and provide some closing remarks as well. It's been some crazy shit tonight, huh, Mo?
It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. The government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the government. Booyaka, booyaka, run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, boom, 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 boom. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, run, run, run. Booyaka, booyaka, run to you niggas. Booyaka, booyaka, boom, 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 boom. Government. The government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government.
I mean, we've never had any institutions that were racially discriminatory towards anyone, or in fact, we've invited all. But that's the problem, I believe. And I just wanted to help us, like you said, that Africans, us discovering who Africans were killed our ideal of Pan-Africanism, but it was never in any existence over there. But us discovering what they thought of it, and that it is, we are driving the stake through Pan-Africanism for sure. Yeah, I just want to see us show the same energy to the boule and the gatekeepers and the buttery biscuit eaters in Biden's boo house who are misleading us and dumping these migrants on our front doors and in our neighborhoods. And at the same amount that we show these tethers who are virtually insignificant and don't really have voices, we're going to shut them down in their Pan-Africanism because it's a fallacy. But we also need to have our eyes on the boules and these democratic shields who are misleading our people. And yeah, brother, I really love what you're doing. Keep it up. FBA forever. You know what I mean? Everybody stay on code with the lineage, and we'll continue this fight. Reparations.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, thanks for calling in, brother. You always got a spot on the panel. Don't hesitate to click that link. And with that said, I like to wrap up these streams by acknowledging the people that help keep the lights on, y'all. The people that help keep the lights on. Let me go ahead and acknowledge the members of the channel. We've got quite a few new members as of late. I think we're now sitting at 100 members of the channel, y'all. I just got my YouTube channel back from purgatory like a couple weeks ago, and we already back stronger than ever, 100 members strong. And we need some more members, y'all. I want us to have a coalition. I want us to be 1,000 members strong, active on the Discord.